Ladies and gentlemen, now that that's all over, Seamus has recommended that I become a SoundCloud rapper. And as you know, I can already talk really, really fast, so I'm considering it.
Yeah, you should.
Now that it's the end and the Trump era is all over, we're all just gonna quit because everyone seems to think that politics just stops.
Well, and it's this weird thing where people are accusing us of supporting Trump. Like, we were behind Biden the whole time.
I know.
That's true, yeah.
This is the Bidencast IRL show.
That's
true,
We've
yeah.
always
IRL,
been,
yeah.
and we got Drew here, Drew Hernandez. You've been a Biden supporter since day one. I mean,
Day
you were the
one.
first Biden supporter.
Absolutely. I've been supporting Biden for the past 47 years, brother.
And I
Wow.
thought he
Before I
should
was
have
even
won.
born.
Impressive.
In 2016, I thought Biden should have won.
Yeah, he wasn't even running.
Yeah,
I know,
I
he
agree.
was, but I was like, he would be the best president.
I actually, I've never admitted this. I voted for Biden in 2016.
Oh,
Really? You
snap.
wrote him
Wow,
in?
Really? You wrote him
I'm
in?
really glad.
That's impressive.
Nobody voted for Biden in 2016. The people who voted, nobody voted for Biden this time around.
Oh,
No, they voted against Trump.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why. So I'm seeing a bunch
Except
of these
for me.
posts where they're like, "How is it that Biden got more votes than like the Senate did or the House?" And I'm like, because there are people who went in and they were like, "Orange man bad," and then they walked out.
That would be the explanation that wouldn't get you banned from YouTube.
Correct.
But that-
yeah,
But I
that's correct.
think that's
No,
the-
I'm giving you a hard time.
Well, I'm hearing
I-
hearing that Biden did very well with like anyone that's over the age of 100.
yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, old
he's
people.
doing very
Or
well.
not
with
even
dead
alive.
people.
Yeah,
exactly.
that
Well,
too. Yeah.
I
He's
will-
overperforming with Civil War veterans.
He
I
is.
will.
He sure is. He absolutely is.
The
Did you
Civil
see?
War
I think that there
is
was
a meme.
there was a Michael Malice tweet where he's like, thanks to Trump's comments about World War I, all the veterans have voted for Biden.
Oh my
So there's some videos that have been put out by Flecka's Stocks where he punches in the information from people who are dead and they show up as voters. At least one of those, the William Bradley one, I think has already been debunked.
Okay.
Okay, good.
The guy has a son of the same name at the same address.
Okay.
And
That's
so what they think happened was they sent a registered, it's still a problem because it's going to get this guy in trouble. But one of the explanations I saw is they probably sent out a ballot application for the dead 120-year-old dead. No joke. That's a serious problem. And the son assumed it was him and filled it out and sent it
Oh,
back.
interesting.
And
okay.
then, but we don't know for sure. I will tell you, Snopes has not debunked it.
Oh,
Snopes
well,
said-
if Snopes says it's true, then it's true.
No.
And by not debunking it, that does mean it's true.
Means
That's
they've endorsed
correct.
it.
They've
Yeah.
endorsed it. Snopes agrees. You heard it here. Dude,
Well,
watch Snope fact check me saying this.
Snopes has casted doubt on it, saying it looks like partisan, blah, blah, blah. Well, look, if you don't got evidence, but they're saying that you can watch the video and they can't disprove it other than officials are saying it's not correct. But there's videos of multiple people there. You go to the Michigan website, you can type in the name of a dead person, their birthday and their birth year, and it's like they voted.
Yeah.
So like if you
Ooh,
got
good for
someone who's
them.
115 years
Good
old,
for them. That's impressive.
That's inspiring that they're
yeah.
taking part in our democracy.
I'm impressed.
Yes.
You know, being
That's
a good
really neat.
citizen doesn't have to end at death. Why should
That's
it?
right.
Those are the demographics. Those are the takeaways, right?
That
Well,
makes sense.
I
yeah.
Trump
got-
did well
I
with
gotta say-
Hispanics.
Yep.
Biden did well with dead people.
Yeah,
That's
perfect.
right.
Makes perfect sense.
we're gonna get banned from YouTube.
Yep.
These are all jokes, by the way.
Yes,
But
they are.
Hashtag
Real fun.
joshing around.
They are
We
jokes.
don't mean
but
it.
no.
JK.
But the videos are real, right? So we don't know what this is. My whole thing is right now. Look, it looks like Joe Biden's gonna win. That's just it.
Thank God.
Trump just did a press conference where he said there's voter fraud and all this stuff. I think Trump should take every legal avenue he can. And I think the reason is we've got talk now of what is called Truth and Reconciliation Commissions. And there's a bunch of articles popping up where like people are rejecting it, saying like, okay, fine, bring out the guillotine. This is ridiculous. We're not doing this. And some articles are saying let history judge Trump, and we're just gonna move on. Trump still might win. We don't know. We might get a call soon, but it's not looking good for Donald Trump. And there's a lot of people who are concerned about how the vote was tabulated. And we're going to get into all this because we do have an article about how the media reacted to Trump's claims in his press conference about fraud. But I think the big first story is about Steve Bannon. So before we get started, make sure you smash that like button.
Smash
It
it.
really
Do
does
it.
help. Mash it. Just give it a little tap. And subscribe, hit the notification bell. We do the show Monday through Friday live at 8 p.m. And we're hanging out with Seamus Coughlin.
Seamus of Freedom Tunes. Must you insult me every time?
Yes.
I want to warn you guys. My face is really itchy today. I don't know what it is. It's really dry. So if you see me scratching a lot, that's it. Be
It's
warned.
not the
And
drugs.
Also,
It's not the
I've got
drugs.
I got 3 water bottles this time. If we want to talk about the voting totals, a very important total was reached. I know how many water bottles I need per episode of Timcast because I went to the fridge twice last time.
He's a drinker, man.
That's right.
Well, there you go. It's confirmed. And also, as you know, I mentioned Drew's here. What
up,
up?
Drew? There he
So
is.
you were just on the ground at all the
Yeah,
riots,
I was
right?
in D.C. I think the MPD pretty much has it on lock. I mean,
Wow.
if
Cool.
anywhere is going to be on lock, I feel like it was
What
going to
if-
be D.C.
What if
makes
everything
sense.
just calms down? It's like the least likely
That's what I'm
outcome.
saying.
I mean,
Nobody
it's not-
nobody wins, nobody loses. Like the Republicans keep the Senate, they gain in the House, but lose the presidency, and then everyone shrugs at each other and goes home.
Like, well, whatever.
I mean, Antifa definitely doesn't want Joe Biden. They made
I
that
know.
very clear.
Yep.
So they're rioting in Denver, they're rioting in Portland, even in LA. They're organizing all the big, heavy blue states. I think that's what a lot of people are making the mistake is they think that moderately that a vote for Joe Biden is going to make like these radicals go away, but it's just not.
I think
No.
it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think,
100%.
and not just the left. I think we might see action from the right. I really do. If Donald Trump loses, and we got these videos, and like I'm seeing a bunch of stuff where people are saying there's statistical anomalies that make no sense. Someone put out a graph showing that the Wisconsin voter turnout is 5 standard deviations above the average, which is which they argue is a statistical impossibility. I don't know if that's true. I'm bringing it up to say there are people who are outright saying, here's data that suggests I'm right. And there are people who are going to buy into it, which brings us to the first and opening story. Steve Bannon banned from Twitter after suggesting violence as a warning to federal bureaucrats. The first thing I want to say is I did not watch the Steve Bannon show, The War Room. He got banned from, I guess, Twitter and YouTube. And according to Forbes, they're saying that Steve Bannon was calling for beheading top-ranking intelligence officials as a warning to federal bureaucrats. Now, I gotta be careful because I didn't show me the quote, and I'll believe it, but it may have been a figurative thing. I don't know entirely. All I will say is, if it's really true that Steve Bannon said something like that, that's nuts, man. We don't want any of that. They give us the key facts. Say Bannon suggested firing Fauci and Wray before saying he'd actually like to see their heads on pikes outside the White House. Okay, so that's what is that figurative or is he literal? What do you think?
I think he's probably being figurative, but
Right.
I don't want to get banned from YouTube, so I'm going to say it's literal, and we should all condemn
No,
it. I think that
We should
he's
condemn
probably.
it.
You could say that like that kind of inflammatory rhetoric is not helpful right now and condemn it. Totally
True.
agree. But I would also say that it's pretty clear that Steve Bannon doesn't want to actually go out and behead people. I would bet money on Steve Bannon does not want to behead anybody.
Safe bet.
Yeah.
At least himself.
At least himself. Yeah, maybe he's calling for other
No,
people.
I
to
don't
do it.
know. I don't know.
It's like when Greta told people to stand up against the wall.
Oh, that's
No,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
that's
That's right.
right.
Nobody
Yeah.
banned her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Greta never got banned.
So for those that aren't familiar with that context, Greta Thunberg said that she wanted to put politicians up against the wall, and everyone went, and then it
Yeah.
turns out, like in Swedish, it just means to like hold someone accountable. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
kill them, but it probably is the same root.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what else does it mean?
I mean,
knows?
you could literally like hold up a prosthetic bloody head of the president on Twitter and not
Yeah.
get banned. But I
Or
mean,
retweet
That's
it.
that's a
Twice.
really good point.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
she
like you
did
could
that.
do that on
Kathy
social
Griffin
media.
just did it.
Kathy
And-
Griffin does it like all the
Once a
time.
month.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wait,
Right.
hold on.
That's a
That's a
good
really
point.
good, really
Yeah.
good point right
Yeah.
now. Kathy Griffin just posted that photo again.
Yeah, she did.
Of a bloody beheaded Trump.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, honestly, I think that makes life unsafe for journalists, if anything. They're the
does?
real victims here.
That's
Well,
true.
for sure. They always are.
They always are.
100%.
This rhetoric is very hurtful to them.
My friends, the Truth and Reconciliation Commissions are going to happen. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to be, but we've had NPR call for it. Robert Reich, high-profile leftist, and like tens of thousands of people were like, "Yes, that's right." And I think it starts with. Honestly, I think it's a bit like talking big. You know how the left likes to add words to their words to make their words sound smarter than they really are.
Exactly.
Like my lived experience instead of my experience, which literally means the same thing.
Same exact thing.
They say Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And what they really mean is permanently ban you from every platform on the internet
Re-education.
and make you go live in the woods in a mud
Yep.
hut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Which
I don't know about
wouldn't be
re-education.
the worst.
I mean,
Wouldn't
I'm
be the
down.
worst,
That sounds
yeah.
pretty good.
You ever watch that Ancient Technologies YouTube channel?
No, is
Where
it
the guy,
what,
like,
he
builds
just
a-
builds huts out of mud in like the woods and makes like
no,
tools
no.
and stuff?
Cool. No.
you have
It's
like he makes
amazing.
legit tech. Like he builds like rain traps for like catching
What?
water with leaves, and he like literally built a house and then created like a stove, and he could like make clay pots. That's cool.
Yeah, but how are you going to watch his videos and know how to do that in the woods once they ban your YouTube channel? Tim? You're done.
will make
You're finished.
a hand crank generator to charge my phone.
But they won't let you on YouTube. Anytime you try to log in, they'll boot you back off.
I will
'Cause
watch
you've been banned.
downloaded videos of it.
Who's going to give them to you, Tim? I'm not
I'm gonna-
sticking my neck
I'm-
out for you.
I
I don't
got-
want to get banned.
I got them downloaded already.
Oh. He's
Off
prepared.
the internet. So this
You
is
know
it.
what,
Yeah.
real quick, to go to that point, I think the hypocrisy is pretty ridiculous, right? Because big tech will always say, we'll ban people, we'll deplatform you because you say something that could put someone's life in danger in the real world, right? But Kathy Griffin can hold up a severed head of the president. That's fake, right?
Well, that's okay, because you got to understand privilege and
JK.
power. And she was a woman, so she doesn't have power over Trump because Trump's a man. But Steve Bannon is a man, and he's talking about using his male privilege. So
And also, she was JKing. For
Yeah,
sure.
for
100%.
Yes.
She was just joshing, so it's okay. It's 100% fine. Guys, that's comedy. We're not supposed to take everything everyone says
I
literally
agree.
all the time.
they said Bannon also suggested the violence against Fauci and Ray could be part of a civil war. So I'd like to see the full context.
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
me too.
I'm skeptical now.
Yeah.
I would like to know what
I
he...
had
I would like
doubts.
to know it too.
Questions and doubts.
Well, Trump was barely going to fire Fauci and Ray if he got reelected. He's not.
Right.
It doesn't look like he's going to be reelected. We don't know for sure. This is also tiring. But I'm looking forward to the Truth and Reconciliation, so I can learn
Me
what the
too.
real truth is and how Orange Man is bad.
I just want to be reconciled, and I want to know the truth. What's so bad about that?
That's all I want.
It's the waiting I can't stand. Reconcile with us already.
Reconcile me
Come on,
already.
man.
When it's one side, when it is one side calling for truth and reconciliation, you know it's going to be good. When they're all on the same
That's
team,
true.
you know it's actually going to be the truth.
I think we are, when I'm watching these videos and I see these violent right-wing extremists showing up to Maricopa County and they're running around smashing windows. Like, I'm sorry. That's Antifa in Portland and Denver.
yeah,
No,
right.
Sam,
Okay.
Antifa is just an idea.
When I see these Trump supporters kneeling in prayer in front of the Maricopa County, Board of Elections, I'm not worried at all. When I see the violent rioting, even though they're winning, then I kind of get worried.
Well,
Did
there
any of
was
you
a there
guys-
was a reporter earlier.
Yes, that's what I was going to
She
say.
tweeted and she called them extremists.
She did.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Trump,
now-
Trump supporters.
So
Yeah.
now,
Yeah,
if you
cool.
are a Trump supporter in Biden's America, you are now the extremist.
Yep.
Not Antifa, not Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter radicals, Trump supporters.
Yeah, so
it's
Drew,
a good thing we've always supported Biden here.
exactly,
Dude, I
agree.
think the United States is dangerously close to some kind of mass factional unrest. I don't know what you want to call it, but I'll tell you this: the media will not be satiated. Like they're vampires
No,
for the
yeah.
Orange Man, right?
Yep.
They've been suckling the teat of Trump for news for the past 4 years, and if Trump is out, they're gonna be like. You ever see the movie Daybreakers?
Oh yeah.
No.
So you've not seen it? Oh, come on, you guys. It's this movie. It's like Ethan Hawke, and he's a vampire, but everyone's a vampire. And they have humans in farms, but they're eating too many humans, right? And so what happens is when they're blood deprived, they start to mutate into grotesque monsters. The media is going to do that. They are going to be... there's a,
Haven't they already?
more.
No, but,
Yeah.
but it's going to be like Gollum in the ring.
No.
Orange Man. Okay, there's a scene
got
in
a
the,
nice ring
there's
to
a-
it.
There's a scene in the movie, listen, where a vampire walks up to like a coffee stand and he goes... They say 20% blood only, and it's the rest is coffee. And he goes, "Put more blood in my coffee." And she's like, "I can't." And then he goes, "Rah!" And he goes nuts and starts attacking her. The media is going to, without Trump, they are going to be desperately looking for anything and anyone to fill that void.
Yeah.
And they're going to be sitting there, like all the journalists are going to be in a room staring at each other, like shaking and sweating. And then one guy's going to go, "Huh? Hachoo," and they go, "Trump supporter," and they're all going to start writing about it. "Oh, he sneezed." Like anything you do, they will go off. And that's why I think, like when they're calling Trump supporters extremists, once if Trump loses,
If.
he might, we don't know. If he does, then they've said it. Trump supporters are far right extremists.
Yeah.
And anybody who says anybody who probably supported him is going to be called a far right extremist.
Yep.
And they're going to say these extremists were defeated, and it's going to be
Which is
bad.
probably why the GOP is silent right now.
Yep.
Most of them.
Yes, that's
because
yeah,
they're fully aware of that right
They're
now.
afraid.
Yeah.
They're scared. They won't stand by him.
They're always
evident.
afraid.
Yeah, they're
What
such
losers.
chickens. Yeah, exactly.
Cowards.
That's why Trump was great, and that's why people voted for him, and so much of the base liked him because he was actually willing to stand up to the
You want
people who
someone
have
brave.
complete contempt for us.
Yeah.
So
But
check
the
this-
Republican establishment won't.
Yeah.
Check this out. Keith Olbermann.
snap.
He tweeted at 7:15. It is necessary to remove and arrest the president of the United States tonight.
I have a question
Which-
about this.
yes.
Yes.
And maybe you guys can help me with this.
100%.
Isn't his side winning?
Yeah.
What is wrong with him that he thinks we need to arrest the sitting president of the United States tonight.
Also, isn't that a
Any
weird
thoughts?
thing to say before the election's actually been called? Like,
Yeah.
we need to go in there and arrest
Isn't it a
him.
weird
That's kinda
thing to
weird.
say when
At all?
they're winning and they have the power and now they're calling for the arrest of the president and they're calling his supporters extremists and they're calling for truth and reconciliation
what's going
commissions? This is going to
Dude,
be fun.
They want to have a truth and reconciliation with those extremists.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
They
it's
wanna
called the
unite with
gulag.
them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Put 'em in the
It's
work
where you
camp.
get
It's gonna be
re-educated.
peaceful. It's gonna be
Yeah.
peaceful.
I'm
Come
Well,
on.
Mostly
Bernie-
peaceful gulag. Mostly
Bernie
peaceful
knew
gulag.
he had to do. He bowed to the establishment. He
Sure
gave
did,
he
yeah.
gave him whatever they wanted.
He's a chicken.
I
He's a
love how
chicken.
Bernie went from like the millionaires and the billionaires to I'm a millionaire and I'm friends with the guy supported by the billionaires.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the best.
exactly.
Vote for the guy supported by Wall Street and multinational corporations. Excellent work, Bernie Sanders.
Joe Biden is my friend. It's true. I like him. He's a good man.
Remember when Elizabeth Warren just completely lied about him and he was like still calling her his friend?
And then when he walked up to her at the end of the debate, she like
lied about me, Bernie?
yeah. She was trying to just get press attention. What slimy people.
She's like, I
This is-
believe you called me a liar.
I tell you what the problem is right now,
I'm
man.
not doing this right now.
You want to
I
know?
remember
You want to?
that,
You want to know
yeah.
what the easiest evidence that Democrats are just basically the low information voters is that they try and get the youth vote and they're trying to
Yep.
get 16-year-olds to vote.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quite literally, people
No,
who have
it's
no
insane.
idea what's going on.
No, it's totally insane. The Democrat. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday, but if your entire strategy is to get celebrities on television to tell people who would not otherwise vote to vote, maybe you are just trying to harvest low information voters and taking advantage of the fact that we have a very ignorant population in this country. And also, with respect to lowering the voting age, I mean, think about it. The voting age, it was 21 originally in the United States. It was lowered to 18 later on. And by the time you were 21, you'd been living on your own and supporting yourself for several years. People were usually on their own
Yep.
by the time they were 16. So
Right.
you had real world experience before you could ever vote. Nowadays, the voting age is 18, and you're just finishing high school.
You
and
didn't
they
even go to
wanna
college yet.
And they want to lower it to, well, honestly, if you went to college, you might vote worse because a lot of
Right.
these kids come out dumber than they went in. But they want to lower the voting age to 16 on top of that. Completely insane. But there's a reason. It's because they know people who don't know anything vote for them.
That's
Yep.
kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really funny when when I tweeted my current thoughts yesterday that the media would call it for Biden, Trump would win in the courts, and then claim he stole the election. Point being that if the media claims Joe Biden wins, but Trump actually wins, they'll say, but I don't understand. I saw on MSNBC that Joe Biden won. Trump stole it. He stole it from us.
He stole it from us, that stupid fat Herbert.
Well, Trump's not
orange
Trump's
man.
the orange orc.
He's
Like
actually
that.
giant.
Yeah,
He's
so
huge.
big,
He's a
yeah.
very large
So
man.
the best example is this guy I know, known him for a long time. Vosh, we had on the show, tweets at me. He's like, "Oh, Tim, the media doesn't call elections." It's like, wow. To imagine like, and with respect to him for coming on the show and everything, but imagine sitting through an election, watching the media be like, "We're calling Louisiana for Trump. We're calling New York for Joe Biden," and then to go, "The media doesn't call elections," and then have all of these low information leftists on Twitter be like, "Tim's so dumb. He thinks the media calls elections," and I'm like. Every single journalist on Twitter right now is saying they might call it for Biden. They might call this state. They did call that state. It's like, do you even read Twitter? They don't watch the news. They're just like sitting there with no information and then tweeting like crazy. And this dude messages me and he's like, you really think the media would call it early? And I was like,
Heck yeah, bro.
Nate Silver is now calling on Fox and the AP to uncall Arizona.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And the New York Times issued a statement saying, oops, we thought Arizona was done, but Edison Research got it wrong. It's like, man.
How long ago is this? Because I think the Associated Press still has Arizona called.
Yeah, they do, of course.
And,
Fox News
it's
does.
and it's 90% reporting.
And it's slowly going towards Trump.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Georgia is 99% reporting, but Trump's only ahead by like 3,000 votes.
Yep.
Now. Crazy. North Carolina is 94% reporting, so we still have a little more time there.
But Trump's up
Not as
there
much
like
of
quite a
nail
bit.
pounder. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, Trump has about a 64,000
Dude.
vote lead.
I've had friends
And-
hit me up freaking out about Trump with the most ridiculous lies you can imagine.
Like what?
Well, the very fine people hoax for one. I can't believe like you would support a guy who called Nazis good people. And
That's
I was
so
like,
not
oh,
true.
yeah,
whoa.
the talking
Literally
points. The talking
didn't,
points.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they believe it.
Yeah.
And then I get a message from a friend saying like, Trump is trying to stop the vote. That's ridiculous. It's just because he's winning now. And now if he stops the vote, he'll win. And I was like, calm down.
Yeah.
That is not what's happening. Trump wants poll watchers. You can argue his intentions if you know what you're talking about and say you really think he's doing something. Fine, that's your opinion. The lawsuit was they shouldn't be counting ballots until we have watchers, while they're tabulating because we don't want any nefarious
Foul play.
Yeah, foul play. And they're like, oh, but I agree with that. And then I sent my friend the video where they're boarding up the windows, and she goes, "What are they doing?" And I'm like, "This is exactly why Trump is saying stop."
Yeah.
And she was like, "But I agree with that." I'm like, "Then why were you mad?" She didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't know. She heard something on Facebook or some media, and she voted for Biden. She voted for Biden, all the Democrats. And I said, "I'm sorry." Like, my friends from Chicago, I said, "You're going to have to explain to me how we all grew up in the same place, getting screwed over by the same people, and you still keep voting for the same people."
Yep. That's horrible.
No good answer.
Listen how like one word could like literally just sway the minds of millions. Trump isn't saying stop the vote. He's saying stop the count. That changes the entire conversation.
But
right?
the context is what's missing. The context has been stripped away. If Trump tweeted, "Stop counting until watchers are making sure the votes are being counted accurately and fairly," then people would have been like, "Oh."
Yeah.
But the entire MSM is saying that Trump is telling people to stop voting.
Right.
Right. And
people believe it.
And there are people.
But you can't vote anymore.
There's
It's
these
over.
Exactly.
There are these videos popping up where people are chanting, "Stop the count," and then in Arizona, count the votes, and they're like, "Hey, look how dumb Trump supporters are," and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
How do you run a country when these people just don't care about civic duty or like, what the issue is? Arrogance. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know everything. I'm not saying you should vote for Trump. I'm not saying you should vote for Biden. I'm saying there's a lot of people on the left, and that's what the Democrats goes after youth vote, because they're like, these people will just do what they're told to do, get some celebrity like Taylor Swift, and they'll go, "I'll go do it." They go after low information voters because they don't got to convince them of anything.
Yeah.
They can just say, "Go do it, rock the vote, high five," and that's their path to victory. We got a lot of people in this country who are arrogant and thinking they know how everything should run. Like, I had a conversation with a friend, someone I've known for a long time, posting all these memes that was just ridiculous fake news. One of them was like, Joe Biden will reduce the amount of troops in the Middle East while Trump is increasing them. And I was like, I'm not kidding. And I'm like, dude. So I commented, I was like, "Hey, you know that Trump is actually drawing down our troops and signing peace agreements?" And he was like, "Dude, that's not true. The Republicans only want war."
What?
And so we have a conversation for quite a bit. And then ultimately I'm just like, "Bro, do you trust me? Like, I read the news all day, every day. I'm not lying to you for no reason." And he was just like, "I know what I'm talking about."
No, he
and I'm
doesn't.
like, I said, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to go there. Why do you think you know more than I do when you work in a warehouse operating a forklift and I literally do nothing but read and comment and report on news all day?" And he's like, "Well, I read." I'm like, I don't care, dude. Look, go believe in flat earth, whatever. Like, you are dead wrong. I can send him articles. I'm not reading your article. Well, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Arrogance.
It's possible to be very informed in any occupation, but yeah, you do read this stuff constantly and are really up to date on it. It's sad, but people have their opinions and they matter very, very much to them. And
No, I
it's
think
very
it's
difficult to
ego.
convince them. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's ego, but it's the same. I mean, it comes from the same place. You become attached to your opinion. You see it as part of yourself, and then when information is presented to you to the contrary, you refuse to believe it because you see that as an attack on yourself.
Yeah.
All I need is evidence. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Liar.
There is no attack on me if Donald Trump loses fairly and Joe Biden walks in with a handshake and says, "I'm the president now." I'll say, "Oh, cool. There's Biden won, huh?"
Will he say I'm the president, or will he go, I'm the,
I'm a president.
I'm the senator of this country now.
I mean, I got an honest
I
question.
won. Yeah.
Did he just can you run for the president and the Senate at the same time?
I don't think so. I think
can't.
you might have broken some
You can't.
rules on that one.
I don't know. I mean, look at him. If you like him, vote for him. If not, vote for the other guy, Tim. That's all I can say.
No, but it's a serious question. Like, can you? I think you probably can run for both.
I don't think so. Maybe. Let's double check. Let's ask Twitter.
Maybe you can't, because then what if you win both? Do you like?
Stuck. Yeah, I don't.
Then they
think that would
appoint
work.
somebody.
Yeah.
What if you run for the Senate and the president, then become president, and then appoint someone to the Senate seat because now it's vacant?
I don't think. Yeah, I think probably not.
So what
I
if
don't
here's
think so.
here's an idea? What if you ran for president, ran for every Senate seat at once, got elected president, and you just handpicked all the senators?
See, that would be an issue.
No,
That's
you
why I don't think
did
it
it all
works.
No, I know,
yourself.
because you can only run for Senate. I get it.
If you live
I was
there.
just kidding. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it would still be funny.
But I'm just
That'd be
wondering,
awesome.
when
That's a
Biden
funny
said he was
hashtag
running
joke.
for the Senate, did that what if Trump
What
goes
if Trump pull
goes-
that up?
He's like, he can't run for Senate
Yes.
and the presidency. We're suing. We're
And
going
then-
to win bigly.
No, but what if the Supreme Court is like, it's true, Joe Biden said he was running for the Senate, therefore,
And then he goes,
like,
and while we're using gaffes, here's footage of him saying he created the largest voter fraud organization
Oh,
on the
snap.
planet.
that
Because he literally did say that.
But there's
Yeah.
no. So I watched the Washington Post fact check on Joe Biden and the fraud thing, and they're like, "Here's the real video," and they play the clip, and then they play the actual video, and the context doesn't change. I'm like, what? They just called it a fact check and then played the full video where he's talking about disenfranchisement.
Yeah.
And then says he put together a voter fraud organization. And I'm like, okay, voter fraud has nothing to do with disenfranchisement. And Democrats don't believe voter fraud is a problem.
Yeah.
There's no context that makes it make sense that Joe Biden said we've put together the largest and most diverse voter fraud organization in history or whatever.
But to be fair, many of his statements make no sense in any context.
That's true.
I'm really excited for a Biden presidency.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So I've been
Not
torn
in a
on
good
this.
way, like,
No, of course not. I've been torn about this.
Kind of
because-
like in a Joker kind of way, you know?
Well, people say things like, oh, well, Trump is so difficult to satirize because he's always so funny on his own. But the thing that was great about the Trump presidency wasn't just satirizing him. It was making fun of everyone's reaction to him. I don't think that we'll get the same thing with a Biden presidency.
Yeah.
People don't really have like Biden derangement syndrome.
No,
They don't freak out in the same way. People don't like it. People dislike Biden, but it's not on the same level. And the entire media isn't like crying and losing their minds over his every statement. And he's also not as funny in some ways.
Here's my conspiracy theory. The John Oliver, Samantha Bee, Jordan, what's his face? I don't know his name. And
Peterson.
Who's the guy?
Ron Jordan.
Who's the guy who had the Netflix one that failed too? I don't know, whatever. And Jim Jeffries, all of these like D-list like knockoff versions of Jon Stewart. Here's my conspiracy theory. They were just so annoying. And then finally the powers that be were like, what do we do to get these shows to stop? We need a
Joe
president they
Biden.
can't make fun of.
Yep.
Well, no,
Joe
Biden's-
Biden.
That's the thing. Joe Biden's easy to make fun of. When I say that Biden,
But it's sad.
Well, no, that's exactly it. When I say Trump is funnier than Biden, I mean like Trump is funnier than Biden on purpose. When he tweets something
Right,
really
right, right.
savage, it's like, oh, that's actually comical. But Joe Biden, not
Look,
so
listen,
much. It's just
you know
sad
why?
to watch.
You know why it's okay to make fun of Trump, even his supporters.
Orange man.
No, it's
bad.
because it's punching up. Because Trump is spry, boorish, like he's clearly strong, and so when you mock him, it's like he doesn't care. Like I remember when he did that rally where he said, "The lights they make me look orange," and like
Yeah.
everyone laughed because
Yeah.
he's self-aware. Joe Biden is funny because he's, on the way out. Like
His mind is
sundowning
going
and
yeah.
chewing it on
How
a
do you
shab of the
guys,
pressure.
how do you guys think Joe Biden
Bad
is going to
care.
deal with like Black Lives Matter and Antifa?
No, he's just gonna walk up to the meetings and fall asleep, and they're gonna sign over power of attorney.
Like, do you think that he's the law and order candidate to stand against movements like
No,
that?
but Kamala is. Let me tell you.
I don't know.
No,
No, I
she
think-
is a cop, Tim. I think no. Actually, part of me wonders if
I think
the
it's funny.
reason that they nominated her was in some weird way to try to appeal to law and order
They
voters.
did.
But she's a
It
lefty.
worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. She's just
Corrupted.
she's an opportunist. She'll for sure side with BLM if that's what she thinks gives her an advantage.
I don't think anybody walked in that. Look, I think there's probably a tiny fraction of people, maybe 1 in 5 or 1 in 6, who walked into the polling place being like, wow, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Like, that's what I want. Most people probably walked in
was
and
what I
went,
did.
orange man bad. And then walked out.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why Biden, that's why they might not win the Senate.
Well, it's funny because Tim and I were having a conversation earlier where Tim was like, the thing is Joe Biden just isn't progressive enough for me. And I don't like what they did to Bernie Sanders. And I really just want far left policies. And I said, you know what, kiddo, let's wait until we're not running against the fascist to have a conversation about whether or not Joe Biden is good enough.
You did, but you
And I
didn't say it
told
that
him
way.
off.
You took the camera and you started shoving it in your face.
Joe
going, "Fascist!
Biden is a fascist. Yeah.
And you're wearing glasses.
I was wearing my big glasses.
Big round glasses.
Oh my gosh.
No, so look, I don't know who's gonna win. If Joe Biden wins, it's gonna be hilarious. Not because of Joe. Like I don't.
But
look,
yes, because of Joe.
we make
will
listen.
be funny.
The only reason I make fun of True Nana Shabbat Pressure and Datakath Care is because he's running for the presidency, right?
Exactly. I would just feel bad for him if he wasn't running for president. Like I
like
couldn't
an
make
old
fun of him. He's just an
right,
old man whose
right,
brain
right,
doesn't
right.
work. It's really sad.
But it's going to be really funny when our president, it's like Mr. Magoo, but
Yeah.
like, could you imagine like Mr. Magoo as the president? He like walks up to a wall and goes, oh, and then like the like Vladimir Putin is like, what is he doing?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, like if Trump won or wins re-election, I could make 4 more years of like Trump jokes and TDS jokes, ripping on the media. If Biden wins, I'll get
Gonna make fun of an old guy.
I'll get like a year tops of making fun of an old man, and then Kamala will be president.
Seriously.
But we can make fun of Kamala.
And yeah, but she's not as funny.
I wonder if she
this
stops-
is the thing. Like Joe Biden, for all of his problems, and Trump, for whatever you might dislike about him, they both have this like likability thing where when you're making fun of them, it's kind of an endearing character. Kamala is not
No, she's
endearing
got
in that
nothing.
way. Yeah,
No,
she's difficult.
she's just gonna start laughing at everything. She's cackling.
That's the thing. Like it's actually it's hard to make
But,
fun
but
of
hold
people
on, hold
who
on.
are
Like,
that unlikable.
what do you think John Oliver is gonna do, and like Samantha Bee, if if Biden actually
See,
wins.
but that's what these people don't realize is like Trump has been so good for the economy and jobs that even leftists, hardcore leftists, are able to build empires and wealth based upon their hatred on Donald Trump. And they don't
true.
realize that this is about to go away. Like even
doesn't
people that
win.
have like crazy merch, like major
true.
merch
Oh,
stores.
yeah, the
You're
Trump
correct.
stuff.
Yeah.
There is so much wealth that has been accumulated even from hatred towards Trump that people don't realize is about to go away.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny when like people are still trying to sell the shirts, but other people are like, she's just some guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why? Well, I'm not gonna. I don't care, man. It's
Yeah.
like a picture of Trump, like getting I don't know, peed on or something stupid, and you're like, why would I want that? That's weird. When he's the president, you're laughing like, hey, he's the president. I think all of these.
It's just going to be cringe and outdated. And it's like,
Oh,
you can't
yeah.
do this anymore.
Well,
you can't
I
say
don't
this
know
anymore.
though, dude, because
but
they were
wait.
still making Bush jokes really late into Bush not being president. I saw, I saw it was some Seth MacFarlane show. I think Border Town. I saw an episode or two, and that came out in the 2010s and in like the mid 2010s, like when I was in college, and they made a Bush joke in it. I was like, are you serious? Like this is still a dead horse that they're beating.
Yeah.
So I feel like they'll still make
Okay,
Trump
maybe.
jokes long after he's no longer
What's
president.
gonna happen to this era of comedy when we're 10, 20 years down the line, and it's like there's just like a black gap in history. It's like we had a bunch of political comedy, clever points were being made, and then just this dead period of 4 years, where it's just every joke was
Especially
about
with like everything being PC'd up. Like you can't make any jokes. You can't like do anything that's funny or out of the box. You'll get censored on the internet.
Yep.
Like your Netflix special might not be able to make it. But it's just like you can't even have fun anymore. Everything is just so NPC'd and like blank.
Yep.
Like that's all that can exist right now.
You know what I find funny too is like I think there's going to be a ton of content for the Biden presidency.
Oh, yeah.
in terms of like gaffes and like
Yes.
but they can't make fun of him. It's like you can't
Exactly.
spend 4 years being like Orange Man is bad, and now you get Joe Biden. It's like, well, I mean, Biden is.
I got hairy legs.
I know we had a field day with him. It was great.
Legs and there were cockroaches in the pool.
Corn
Dude,
pop.
That's the thing.
Corn
This is
pop
gonna be
was a
hilarious.
bad dude.
I think you're in for a gold mine.
I am. No, that's the thing. If Biden wins, like it'll probably be really good for my channel.
make a lot of money.
because Biden gaff videos, the videos where like I animate one of Joe Biden's audio clips usually do really well, and it's a lot of fun for me also. But I would rather the country not be destroyed than
Yeah,
Well,
me
I guess
too.
I guess the bigger issue is they're like I said, the vampire is still going to need to feed.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they're going to come after people
me.
like you.
They're going to
people-
come after me. They're
You
going to have
specifically.
they're going to have Seamus derangement syndrome. They're going to keep talking like, look at what Seamus tweeted today.
No,
Like,
but I
should
think-
he be more responsible as a cartoonist?
I think I
People
think
take him seriously. No.
if the GOP holds the Senate and Biden takes the presidency, it's not the worst thing in the world.
I
The
think,
worst
yeah.
thing would be like Democrats taking everything, because then we would start to see these truth and reconciliation commissions. Let me show you what we got. We got some of this. First
We
of all,
got some of this.
Hopefully.
October 11th, healing U.S. divides through truth and reconciliation
I
commissions.
cannot wait.
Yeah,
Healing the
It is-
divide.
It has been divided, and we must be healed. They say America's divided. It's cliche. Blah blah blah.
Since
I get
when
it.
do
I'm not gonna read.
commissions heal us?
Check this out. Wait,
What's
what
the
is
whole
this?
point, Lydia, of
I
commissions?
don't see it.
The Washington
dude.
Post is saying we're not allowed to read the news.
Nonsense.
Oh,
Wouldn't it
those
be funny
jerks.
if the
Oh, well.
Washington Post, like, based on your voting record, would hide articles from you? They're like, no, you know what? You don't deserve to be informed
Wait,
about
wait.
this.
You know they do that.
Wait, what?
Not based on your
Excuse
voting
me?
record, based on your
Hashtag
region.
What?
Say
Oh,
what? Oh.
So news outlets based on your region will serve up different front pages to you and different headlines.
wow.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a long time. When I
Actually,
worked,
I think I've seen that. There was someone took a picture of a newspaper from two different regions, but it was
Yep.
literally like right next to each other. The newspaper stands were right next to each other.
But it
and
was a
they had
Democrat and it
different-
was a
yeah.
yeah. So like what'll happen is news outlets can detect where you're from when you log in, for the most part, unless you're using a VPN or something, and then it'll show a picture of Donald Trump, and he's like, throwing something. And then like the one headline will say like Donald Trump gives out gifts to fans, but then in the Democrat area it'll say Donald Trump throws trash on the floor. You know what I mean? Like
So-
I'm making that, but you get the point.
So Tim, do you think on the other side of the country it says that Donald Trump has 264 electoral votes and Joe Biden
No.
has 214?
I
Just
wish.
completely
no,
flipped it.
not like that.
And they're
but
just going to lie. They're just going to lie to us for the next 4 years.
it
It's all
depends
gonna
on
be
right, yeah,
it
that's
depends on the
what I'm gonna
framing.
do.
Like
Yeah.
it depends on
Do it 100%.
They want to maximize traffic, so they'll frame it. But a lot of these outlets that are pumping out Orange Man bad content, which really did hurt Trump, like they just want the money.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? I am so excited for this. You know why? Like, dude, I'm one guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Me too.
my overhead on my main channels is
Zero.
it's just me.
Yeah.
Literally me. I mean, I had to buy stuff. I had to buy cameras and a computer and all that stuff. And then I pay myself and I do work. For all these news outlets, this is what I try to explain to people when they talk about why media was dying before Donald Trump. And it was bad. I worked for, the ABC News Univision joint venture. And they were trying to figure out how to make content and make money. The only problem is they're competing with people posting pictures of cats and dogs on Facebook. So you get this news outlet says, we want to capture attention. That's what we're selling. And then advertisers can be on that attention.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to pay someone $40,000 to $50,000 a year to work in this office as a multimedia expert. That means whenever they make a piece of content, which they can make, depending on if they're writing or if they're doing a video, it's going to be once a week, if that. Then you get every single American with a smartphone filming their little dog, and it's like a video of a cat like getting ready to jump, and the cat slips and falls, and they all laugh. And there's videos of goats yelling like people, and it was all free.
Free, 100%.
Free for Facebook and for YouTube and for Twitter and Instagram. So what happens is YouTube wants attention. Facebook wants attention. They sell the same thing as the news outlets, attention, advertising space. But they're getting everything for free and giving nothing.
Yep.
So the media companies were desperate. They were like, how do we get video content that'll capture attention if we have to pay for it and Facebook doesn't? They were losing. Well, then along came the Orange Man. And they were like,
They're like, I think
thank you.
he's bad.
Now you can get people putting their phone up and being like, I think Trump is bad, but it's not nearly as entertaining as political commentary and news content and shock content and police brutality videos. So then news outlets started focusing heavily on whatever they could to get that attention. If Trump goes, I think we're going to see the end of all of these blogs.
That's a silver lining.
Before Trump, this was back in, I think, 2015, Shane Smith, the I believe he's the former CEO of Vice, said there was going to be a bloodbath in digital media. They all knew that the media was dying. They could not do anything about it. Now we're looking at Tucker Carlson. He's got the highest ratings in history.
And yet
5.3 million on average.
He can't find advertisers. Isn't that interesting?
No, he's got the MyPillow guy.
The MyPillow guy is basically it. But it's incredible. MyPillow guy came in clutch. I love that.
Yeah.
But
well, that's the truth and reconciliation that's coming.
Yeah.
So what I see happening next is we're sort of trapped in a cultural addiction spiral where if Biden ends up winning, and it's extremely close, and either way, the voters who came out for Biden are the product of the media addiction to they're desperately trying to get traffic and attacking Trump all day nonstop. There was an article that came out that said something like 98% of all political jokes, stand-up jokes, were about Trump. Only 2% were about Biden. So they're desperately trying to do whatever they can to get traffic, and thus they've created an army of people who will vote Trump out, destroying themselves in the process because he was the only thing they could use to get interest.
Yeah.
I think Obama at a rally recently was like, could you imagine waking up not talking about Donald Trump? Then everyone cheers and laughs, and it's like, I could.
they can't imagine it.
Like in January on this show, we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. Like we had a whole segment like, man, Sonic the Hedgehog, that
was so
movie was
fun.
great. We were chilling. We were having a good time.
Super fun.
And then COVID happened, and then everyone went insane. Now we're in an election cycle, and then we became very, very political. And I'm like, dude, if Trump goes, my overhead is like nothing. Meaning, I'm a guy who looks at a camera and talks about his feelings on the internet. If Trump,
And you're very open and vulnerable with us, which I appreciate
what do you mean?
about your feelings.
He is,
What?
yes.
No, I was just kidding. Because you said feelings, yeah.
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 That's Tim. He's all about feelings.
If Trump loses, I go back to making videos about what I'm thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
And so, like, I remember a year and a half ago, I did a video about there was two women outside of a bar, and a dude came up and they swung at him and he punched her and then he got arrested. Like, that video is no particularly powerful news relevance. I saw a story and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And so I did a segment talking about it. I was like, this is really crazy. Like, watching this video, like, the guy got arrested. Why did the guy get arrested? He didn't do anything wrong. And so that's what I was doing. But what happens to these media outlets? What are they going to talk about? They've propped themselves up. The bigger issue is I know they can write about dogs tripping over, toilet roll, paper rolls or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have overhead. They've got to pay the salary. And the problem is the amount of money they have to pay these people versus the return they get from the content they produce is lower than it's less money than the salary, meaning it's not sustainable.
Yeah, good.
I think
I don't like 'em.
I think if Trump loses, then what's going to end up happening to the media is they're going to collapse, which is going to give rise to independent commentary, low overhead internet video. And then we are going to see probably something really weird happen in 2024.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Drew, what do you think?
I think that voter fraud is absolutely real. I think even in the 2020 primaries, like in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Virginia, we had all kinds of whole host of issues, like tens and thousands of ballots that were returned, that were rejected because of bad signatures, false information. Like there was all kinds of issues that were going on in the primaries. And I think what's going on right now is I can't sit here and say that like I can't see that happening right now, because we just went through 4 years of one impeachment attempt that failed with zero evidence, zero evidence on record, and then a second attempt with zero evidence that was successful, right? They impeached Donald Trump over nothing. Literally over nothing. So
quid pro quo.
So for people to sit here and say that it's a conspiracy theory to think that the left could be really doing things to rig this election is not too far-fetched, in my opinion.
Well, they told us by any means necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they also contested the results of a free and democratic election for 4 straight years. So they're clearly not that invested in the process.
So why don't the Republicans will never do this, and that's why they should all be voted out. But they could launch a special investigation into Biden's Ukraine dealings.
Yeah, they totally could.
Yep.
Well,
get $47 million, investigate all his connections, and
this is one of the things I said. One of the things I said was that if Biden is elected, if the Republicans do not go after him with everything that they have, every single one of them deserves to be voted out. Because Biden has done truly egregious things in Ukraine. He's enabled his son to do awful things. He's gotten money for his son, and he's just used the power of the presidency to do whatever he wants.
The fact that Joe Biden flew his son to China on Air Force Two, government taxpayer dollars, so that his son could negotiate a massive private equity deal that would make him rich, is Joe Biden using the power of the office to enrich his family,
100%,
which goes to his family. Like that's it. It's like, well, Joe Biden himself didn't take the money. I don't care. Joe Biden's already rich. Oh, so when he's retiring, his son buys him a mansion. But that's his son buying the money. Yeah, he used government resources and access to get his son these meetings. The Bidens, I thought he was working class Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Scranton
No,
Joe.
Malarkey Joe sounds like malarkey to me, in my humble opinion.
Look, Scranton Joe just happened to have a kid who grew up to do international private equity deals with Chinese communists.
Yeah.
It's a normal thing.
It's a regular, just a middle American, small town American.
Yeah, I just did a $1 billion private equity deal with China. You know, like my neighbor. My neighbor is he's a goat farmer. He did one too. It's no big deal. Yeah,
exactly.
That's not.
He who is without a $1 billion China deal may cast the first stone.
Indeed.
Yes,
is what
of
I
course.
always say.
Yeah.
Of course, dude. It's gonna be hilarious if Joe Biden wins. I don't know what's gonna happen, man, but I know that it's gonna be like, people like to say clown world. Yeah. That's gonna be it. Like, could you imagine? Well, actually, I think it's fair to point out I may be a little bit optimistic here because, like, how long is Joe Biden gonna last?
I have no idea. I like to. I imagine he'll step down after about a year, and then Kamala will be the president. Because
I don't think he'll step down.
You don't think he'll step down?
I think he's gonna
they'll
get forcibly removed.
Ooh.
Nancy Pelosi put together.
Do you think you think he'll be forcibly removed? Like, do you think Joe Biden wants to be president?
Here's my prediction. I am actually kind of leaning towards Trump getting a court victory. Wow. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a toss-up. It really is. Like, that press conference Trump did earlier was sad. I thought it was sad.
100%.
Like, he was...
Sad.
Yeah. He was like, quite frankly, we did really well, but there was fraud. And it was like there was no energy. There was no strength behind it. And it did not seem confidence building. But so that's why I'm like, it's a toss-up. But I do think... I wouldn't know which way it's going to go. I think people would be nuts to underestimate Trump's base of support, and the accusations and the videos that are popping up need to be investigated. Trump might go to the courts and they might say, in Nevada, we found 20,000 ballots for whatever reason are disqualified, and then Trump wins, Nevada.
And I don't think people understand this. People that's not abnormal,
right?
Like the public and our population has been convinced because of COVID that like mail-in ballot voting is like successful.
Yes.
That's not it's
New York Times warned us about it
in 2012.
Right.
They said that that's literally the most probable abused version of voting, form of voting.
But that's
totally.
I'm not super concerned about that right now. I mean, like, I think the issue right now is the past deadline ballots. And there was a Republican poll watcher who said he saw an unidentifiable woman shuffle a stack of ballots in with another stack of ballots, so they're not, segregating the ballots between those that come in after Election Day. It's possible that Trump goes to the Supreme Court and they say how many ballots in Georgia or in Nevada were from after Election Day, and we have hard data saying it was 20,000. Cut them out.
I mean, and the Trump campaign sent observers to observe the ballot counting, and then they're starting to put, I mean, even people that they're boarding up windows. Like, if you have nothing to hide, then why are you guys boarding up windows?
Why were the Democrats
They're
trying
worried
to
about
resist
those
it?
Republican rioters who are going to lose their minds and start
Why do
breaking
Democrats
windows.
appeal?
Right.
Why are they appealing to block Trump's
count vote.
people
Yeah.
It's the most
from
ridiculous
observing?
thing ever.
So, no, that's what I want to talk about. I want to understand why, if you have nothing to hide, then why are you trying to hide something?
You're sounding like the NSA right
And
now.
I don't care. Listen, I don't care. Republican, Democrat, Trump supporter, Biden supporter. I was telling Lydia this the other night.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, I am ready, and I think, mature enough to take a massive L.
Yeah.
As a Trump
Sure.
supporter,
Yeah,
right? You're not going to
100%.
see me screaming at the sky because
Exactly.
Joe
You
Biden,
sure?
right?
Drop to your knees and go.
I'm not going to be screaming at the
That's
sky.
actually why
Well,
we
I
got-
got-
What do
I
I
got-
want?
I got- I got-
What do
I
I
got-
want?
wait, I gotta
Integrity,
stop. Hold on,
integrity,
hold on.
truth, and honesty.
They've
Yeah,
made
good
a
for you.
meme where they superimposed Trump's face on that woman.
Ugh.
It's funny. I thought it was hilarious, but it's also kind of sad for them because that's the only way they could have gotten it.
Yeah.
The only way they could get a conservative dropping to their knees and screaming "No" at the sky was to superimpose Trump's face on their own,
Person.
ally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll say this: the
Sad.
mega movement is going to mobilize. The mega movement is going to mobilize, turn against the GOP, and you're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff that they
think
never
you're
thought were
right.
going to happen.
You
in
know
the next
what?
4 years. If Trump loses this election,
Maybe this will finally be when we break the two-party system, duopoly or whatever.
I am a little bit
possible.
excited about this because I think that's going to happen. I think you're right, Drew. I think the MAGA movement is going to separate from the Republican movement. I think that's going to happen. I don't see any other way because I don't see the MAGA people as being really super Republicans in that they would be willing to sit on their hands if they saw something like this happen.
I see all these people tweeting,
Yep.
where is the GOP leadership to come and get
Exactly.
Trump's back on this and to
Exactly.
they're nowhere
They
to be
won't
seen.
have his back. No.
No, of course not. They
But
hate
this
him.
is what they always do. The GOP. This is why I criticize them all the time. And I get criticized by Antifa and all these radical leftists. Oh, you're a heavy right winger Republican. I'm like, dude, I have major issues with the Republican Party because of stuff like this. Whenever the Republican Party has the opportunity to go on some serious offense, they just sit on their hands and do nothing.
Yep.
And I
Well,
think people are
cowards.
sick of this.
When
already.
have you ever
Cowards.
seen a turtle go on the offensive?
When Cocaine
Mitch McConnell.
Am I not?
No.
Well, first of all, in the Master of Disguise, he bites that guy's nose
That's
off.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Because he's
true.
not turtly enough for the turtle.
That was
Yes,
funny.
yes.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
For
true.
the Turtle Club.
There was a turtle.
Mitch McConnell
Yep.
is sitting back and he's comfortable and he's not going to stick his neck out.
Probably
See, and
not.
that's a problem. That's
Yeah.
a problem.
That guy
And
really needs to
people-
come out of his shell.
I agree.
No,
That's a problem.
I would be interested to see if there was a MAGA party. 2022, we see midterms, then all of a sudden we get weird third party nominees actually start winning.
That'd be cool.
Because think about it. Trump has Trump got more votes. The Republican Party got more votes in this election than in history.
Yeah, that's true.
Joe Biden is saying he got more votes, than any other president in history.
Also true.
While technically the truth, it is actually more fair, I believe, in the literal sense, to say Trump got more anti-Trump votes than any other president in history.
Yeah, for sure.
But
and the
it's
Hispanic
sick-
vote in
Went for
Florida
Trump.
and Texas, he
Dude,
smashed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
good
like
for
to
him.
But
see
so
that.
here's what I'm thinking. Look, you got 68 million people right now.
Yeah.
I don't like the Republicans. I don't like the
Yeah.
Republicans or the
What?
Democrats.
Not
So
impressed.
in 2022, I'm looking for alternatives. Yeah, I'd vote for a third. I'm definitely going to vote for third party probably next time. I mean, we'll see, unless
Well,
something
even
happens.
AOC admitted that the Democrat Party is kind of losing voter base with
Yeah.
Latinos,
Yep.
Good,
right?
I'm glad.
So
I'm
I
happy to
think
see it.
I think that's something that is going to be really mobilized and utilized. See, but this is the GOP. Just I don't understand. It's like you have the potential to really tap into these voter bases, but you guys don't.
They're
Well,
dumb.
Trump
they
started
for
doing
often
it.
They haven't.
Exactly. That's my
Yeah.
point. My
Succeeded.
point is Trump has done things that they were willing to never do.
And-
He accomplished them, and now they're just completely neglecting it.
And this is what makes me think that the base is going to move. This is
Yeah.
what makes me
Well,
think that
to-
the MAGA is going to move away.
But hold on a second. I think Democrats might as well.
That's possible.
How many
yeah.
how many people right now are voting against Trump and they're unhappy with Joe Biden? Like,
So
what
many.
was that sign in
At
D.C. It
least
says, we
5 or
don't
6
want Joe
people.
Biden, we want revenge?
I think
Yeah.
it was 5 or 6.
Antifa was
5 or
chanting
6?
that.
It's like
Yeah.
5 or 6 people. I would say as high as 7.
I
Yep,
think
100%.
Don't like
no,
Joe
Yep.
Biden.
right now, according to Gallup, 40 or so percent of the Democratic
That's
Party views themselves as
insane.
progressives.
Which is at least 5 or 6 people, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. That's
Okay,
correct. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We'll take it.
No,
We'll
I
take it.
think it's entirely possible. You've got Democrats right now. I'm seeing it from on my feed from progressives. They're saying the Democrats, it's their fault for putting forth unlikable candidates.
Yeah.
These pandery, centrist corporate types that appeal to no one, trying to appeal to everyone, and they should have chose a progressive. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a progressive wouldn't appeal to everyone.
No, it doesn't matter though,
Yeah.
because Joe Biden didn't get votes.
Yeah.
They could have put up a ham sandwich, and the Trump derangement
Yeah.
syndrome people would go vote for it.
Yeah.
It's true.
So
100%.
they chose.
How does Joe Biden get more
What kind of
popular
sandwich, a poor
vote
boy?
than Barack Obama?
A poor boy.
Seriously,
They should
I
have
don't
put up
know.
a
That's
poor
what
boy
I wanna
sandwich.
know.
No, yeah.
How
yeah,
is
Tim,
Joe
what do you
Biden
think?
more popular than Barack Obama right now?
I don't
He's
get
not.
It.
He's
He's
not.
really
It's
not.
Someone
Trump-
needs to answer that.
Trump is.
I know.
Well,
I know.
really,
Trump
I don't
is.
know. I think that
But
Joe
I'm asking,
Biden
how did
actually
that get
drove,
to that
Is-
point?
is
I
Trump-
think
I
I
don't
think
know.
that Joe Biden actually drove the Obama administration. I think that people actually liked Joe Biden.
Obama
That's why
was a
they
front
voted
man.
for Obama.
Really?
Yeah,
You think
yeah.
so?
I don't think Obama was very charismatic at all. I think that Joe
Yeah, I don't think
Obama
that's the
had all of
case.
these weird gaffes.
Seamus, I'm gonna
and
disagree
Joe
with you on this one.
But everyone knew
You know what
like
it
Joe
was?
Biden was the cool guy, and that's
I'm
why
gonna
they
say
voted.
no.
You know how you do an Obama impersonation? You go,
What?
Oh
Here's
my
the deal.
gosh.
here's the deal.
Let me be perfectly clear. Joe Biden. And everyone's like, enough of this guy. I want old smooth
want-
Joe. I want no malarkey
I
Joe.
want him.
That's who has my vote.
And Biden is so smooth. He puts all his words. It's streamlined. He puts all the words into one word,
one.
so that you don't got. I don't got to listen
It's
to like.
true.
Could you imagine having to listen to 5 words? Treating on a shot of pressure. He made that one word.
One word.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
no idea what he was saying,
And
but
they
it was
clapped.
one word.
That's
Yeah.
impressive. I like
This is
it.
the crazy thing. Like
He's like literally a SoundCloud rapper.
He totally is. Yeah.
Like
I
that's
love it.
Joe
That's
Biden.
great, dude.
Like
I
that's what they
love
do.
it.
should I write a rap song called
Can we-
"Truing on a Shot
that
of
would
Pressure"?
go.
You should.
Lil
Let's
Pool
do
right
it.
now.
That
Lil
would be
Pool.
amazing.
Let's go.
Lil Pool. Go.
Lil Pool. No, we're not.
Kiddie pool.
So
Yeah.
I did
Joe-
have
what?
I have a question for you guys. So do you guys remember during the Kavanaugh thing?
No,
No,
I
you
don't
don't.
remember any of that.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, I'm about to refresh your memory, sons. Listen up, okay? So during the Kavanaugh thing, I was very impressed by Lindsey Graham. Do you remember what Lindsey Graham was saying?
No.
He was saying things like, you all want power, and I hope you never get it.
Yeah, that's
he
true,
was
yeah.
saying things like, heaven help me if you guys had done to me what you've done to this man. You're trying to
Yeah.
ruin his life. I will not stand for it.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that Lindsey? Why don't we
Hiding.
have him back? He's there. Like, he exists. He's a real thing. He's a real person. Mitch McConnell is savage. Like, he
Dude,
knows what he's doing.
Democrats are cutthroat, brutal,
Psycho.
rule changers. You've got people marching the streets screaming. You had a woman in New York pepper spray
Jewish
children.
Yep.
Children.
But that's
because
just
they were
normal.
sitting in a car with a Trump flag.
Yeah, but that's just normal behavior, Tim.
These
Yeah,
people,
actually, it
listen.
is.
You never pepper spray children when you see them with a flag that you don't
Dude,
like.
it's
Come on.
becoming
Wow,
normal.
that's a good
Normal-
point,
That's a
Seamus.
normal person thing that normal people do.
I am
It's true, yeah.
excited for the future. Because you know what? At least life's not boring.
That's true.
I'm half
Well,
kidding, by the way, actually.
very
I'm only
true.
half kidding.
Here's the thing. There's this question of how conservatives are going to handle this. And Drew, you made a good point earlier about the fact that we can sort of take the L here and be mature. And if we did lose, we can acknowledge that we lost. And one thing that I can promise is if Joe Biden wins, I am not going to cut out a single family member or friend or loved one who voted for him.
Yeah,
I
why
think
would
they
you?
made a horrible choice. I think that if Joe Biden wins, millions more unborn children are going to die. I think tens of thousands of more people in the Middle East are going to die. This will be a price paid in human blood, and I take that very seriously. But what I take more seriously than that is my own development as a person and my soul and my virtue, and those are the things that you have control over. You don't have control over who's the president after you cast your vote, and I hope that conservatives can keep that in mind and not react the same way that the left did.
You know-
And I'm pretty sure that they won't, but
That's a great
You know what
point.
I'm going to do? When Joe Biden gets in office, I believe he will very likely reenact the policies of his past administration with Barack Obama. We're going to see a lot of dead kids in the Middle East. We're going to see an expansion of our
Yeah.
presence. We're going to see these peace agreements potentially falling apart. I don't know for sure. Maybe they'll hold. Maybe, Biden's kind of put in that position. But I'm going to send every news article to each and every one of my friends who told me that they were voting for Biden.
You should.
Every single day. I'm going to be like, here, read it.
yeah, no, definitely let them know.
Yeah.
You
No
voted
problem
for
with
it.
that. I know, and I definitely think that these conversations need to happen with people who voted for Joe Biden. We should still want to persuade them, but you do that by caring for them, by being there for them, by being a genuine friend who has concern over them and their lives, but wanting them to improve and sort of calling them out of their errors here. Not by cutting them out, not by saying they're horrible people.
I think the issue is tribalism, ego, and for whatever reason, people just they want to be a part of that wave. You know, when everyone's running around screaming "Orange Man bad," they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I think the Orange Man is bad too." Can I hang out with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, being part of a crowd is very appealing. It's extremely
important, yeah.
appealing.
It's
I think Joe Biden is a hollow shell. Like, I think he's literally a hollow shell. He's just going to do whatever he's told, whatever they tell him to do. When
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter comes through, I give it 4 months. If Joe Biden becomes president, the White House will be painted black in 4 months.
I think you're right.
I think we're going to see a lot of things that the SJWs and the radical communists want do. He's not going to be able to stand his ground.
No.
Oh,
Donald
definitely.
Trump is definitely doing that. He's not going to be able to tame BLM. He's not going to be able to tame Antifa. None of these radical organizations. He's going to do what they want. That's literally what
Of
they're going
course,
to do.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I
pushover.
agree. I think he's going to throw them red meat, and they're going to make gains in weird and creepy ways where he won't stand his ground. But I also think that he's going to make sure he locks the keys to the castle. Not him, but the Democratic establishment is going to make sure that these people, like the progressives, the right populists, they want it to be crony establishment,
Yes.
military-industrial complex, Wall Street. It's going to go back to the days of Obama.
Well, and this
He's
is
gonna fill his cabinet with Goldman Sachs, Citibank, Never
Yeah,
Trumpers.
So depressing.
exactly. And
See, and then I think riots
yes.
are going to continue.
Yeah,
Yes,
I agree.
absolutely.
That goes
You-
perfectly
that's-
to my
you-
point.
no, right.
Don't,
Because people voted for Biden thinking that the riots are going to go away. They think that Trump is
Wrong.
the centralized
Yeah,
issue.
exactly.
Wrong.
You are
Wrong.
incorrect. Fake news.
I completely agree. I mean, if there's one thing, come on, if there's one thing the past 10, 20 years, even the history of the 20th century should tell you, it's that giving the left small victories does not make them go away. It makes them hungry for more.
Exactly.
And so if we vote for Joe Biden because we're afraid that the riots won't stop unless we do, well, guess what? They're just going to be even more out of control because we gave them what they wanted. And when you reward behavior, you get more
It's like
of it.
spoiling a kid. Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
And they are children.
They definitely are. For sure.
Very
So
dangerous, violent
at
children.
9
Indeed.
p.m., we are getting another batch of ballots from Arizona.
great.
So it'll be coming at some point. I don't know exactly if it will be at 8. I'm not entirely sure. But as of right now, well, it looks like there's still votes coming in from Arizona. And it seems like Donald Trump is actually working down Joe Biden's lead.
Oh,
He might-
wow.
88% reporting. I mean, Joe Biden might lose this one.
I'm seeing 90% reporting in Arizona.
In Arizona, which side are you on?
I'm sorry. I'm on the
Check this
Google homepage, but it's Associated Press. I believe it's from the Associated Press. I need
That's
to double
probably a
check
better
on this.
source. I'm from the New York Times.
Yeah, it's from the Associated Press. Anything's a better source than the New York Times.
Donald Trump's
We should know
Donald
this
Trump's
by now.
lead is down to 50,000 votes in Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh.
94%.
And it's only
reporting.
90%
The
report.
freaking
Oh, it's
nail
94%.
biter.
Can
Such
you
a
can you
mess.
imagine if
It
Trump
is.
wins by like 1 or 2 votes?
Yeah.
It will be the
Oh my
coolest
gosh,
thing
that'd be
ever.
So cool.
Because we're gonna be like, whoa.
No,
I'm
you know
just-
what
I
that
wanna
would
see-
be? That would be hilarious.
That
You
would
want to
be
know why?
amazing. Why?
Because the left right now is losing their minds. They're saying that Donald Trump is filing lawsuits in order to steal the election. And if that were to happen, Tim, they're going to be the ones to file lawsuits
They will.
and call
Yeah.
for recounts.
100%. What if he
and
steals
they're
it
going to
and
be
he
the
was-
conspiracy theorists. They'll be the fascists.
They
They'll be
are.
the scary Nazis. And it's going to be hilarious to see that because this is what they do, Lydia.
I know,
This
I
is what
know.
these people do. They accuse you of what they are
It's
and what they want to
projection.
do. They project because they're
100%.
morons.
They
They
do.
project because they're liars, and they want to convince us that we're the fascists
don't-
and that we're the ones that are the bad ones.
Bro, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
So here's something crazy. Some of the most important elections are the ones where weird reporting issues are happening, right?
Yeah.
So Jeff Van Drew is up a decent amount,
How's he doing?
around 12,000 or so votes.
Oh, he's gonna win easy.
76% reporting, and it's slowly going in Amy Kennedy's favor.
Interesting.
The other really interesting thing that we saw was in PA District 17,
Oh yeah.
which is it was for Sean Parnell.
Sean Parnell.
He was winning by like a decent margin.
No,
and then
100%.
so they issued a statement. All of a sudden, some mail-in ballots came in, all for Connor Lamb.
Oh, how weird.
And then Connor Lamb immediately declares victory.
Oh.
And so Sean Parnell's campaign said something like, he was saying we shouldn't call it until all the votes are in. Then as soon as he takes a small lead, he says, no, we're going to call it. You know, we're calling. And so Sean Parnell's like, no, we're going to wait for every vote to come in. It's 92%. Oh my gosh. So there have been weird instances where mail-in boxes come in and it's like 100% Democrat.
It's not weird.
Yeah.
It's
And they
not
say
weird at all.
they say, well, that's because Trump was discouraging people.
Nope.
No. 100%?
Yeah.
No.
Like even 90%? No.
No.
70? Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying it, man.
May I put my 2 cents in, sir?
Sure.
I don't think that there's anything weird or coincidental about this election. Strange things are definitely going on. I don't think any of it's a coincidence.
No, I think
this
some of it is.
I think this is 100% targeted. I think that anything that is a coincidence might be human error. There might be a few things, but I think a huge majority of it is just straight up cheating, and I don't like to see it. I really hate to see it.
I gotta say, dude, in Miami-Dade, a Republican won.
What?
Flipping a safe Democrat district.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so Florida's
cool.
27th. And
How neat.
yeah, so there was big news on this because it was the Cuban American vote.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Wow.
Who would have thought if you have a Democratic Party that is entertaining socialist policies,
Yeah, that Cubans wouldn't vote for them.
You're right.
People who
insane.
literally fled on rafts of trash would vote against that.
Yeah.
No.
See, but that's the thing is that's where they depend on these communities to be morons.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
it's an
hate that,
insult. It's
yeah.
In two
literally an
It
districts.
really
insult.
is insulting.
26 as well. The Democrat incumbent was defeated by the Republican.
Yeah.
Carlos Jimenez. I don't know how to pronounce it.
And isn't it interesting? I wonder what the response is going to be from all the psycho like ethno-nationalists who say like, oh, well, if we keep allowing immigrants to come to this country, they're always going to vote for the Democrat. When we have the Republican
No.
Party clearly showing
It's
that
not.
they can get votes
Yeah.
from these communities if they're willing to look out for the working class, and also if they're still willing to continue to support socially conservative values. Trump wasn't perfectly socially conservative, but he was certainly better than the Democratic alternative, and working people thought that he cared about them.
As far as I'm concerned, that is 2 birds with 1 stone. To get people who floated in from Cuba on rafts and who are now like, hey, you know what? I don't like socialism very much.
Yeah.
And to get people who are like socially conscious and socially conservative, that's fantastic. They're not stupid, it turns out.
Yeah.
It is a fact that the Republican Party is now the party of the working class.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Democratic Party is the party of the managerial elites,
Party
Wall Street
switch.
bankers. Yeah, it's crazy.
And the
It really
switch,
was.
it's interesting because the switch took quite a while. I'm from the Chicago area originally. My parents are both born and raised on the South Side, Irish Catholics. And when they were young, before Roe v. Wade, before abortion was an issue that the Democrats were really, and the Republicans were talking about frequently, and that the Democrats were obsessed with promoting, most working class people, and especially Catholics and Christians, would vote Democrat because they saw that as the party for working people, for the poor. And then when the left, or when the Democratic Party became very socially left-wing, there was this tension where a lot of people wanted their conservative values represented, but they held their nose and voted Democrat anyway because they thought the Democrats would be more likely to help the poor. And so there was this split where you kind of had the Republicans saying good things socially that working class people agreed with, because a lot of working class people are much more socially conservative, I think, as a general rule. But you had the Democrats doing things that people at least perceived as being in the interest of the working class.
Right.
Now it's sort of shifted, and the Republican Party has done more to fully integrate the working class into their platform, which is going to be massively helpful for the Republican Party. So it's interesting because even though it appears as if Donald Trump is going to lose, we don't know for sure, but even if he does lose, he's clearly proven that there is a winning strategy for the Republican Party that we just have not been tapping into, and that is caring about the working class, or at least convincing them that you care about them, because obviously neither party really
That's
does,
encouraging.
but
That's encouraging.
he made an effort.
It's an interesting party switch because the Democrats are still the racist party.
Yeah, that hasn't
They
changed.
always-
But like
Some things
it's
did not.
now they're rich racists, you know.
Exactly. The best
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah,
The best kind
the
of
ones
racist,
with
rich
with
racists,
power
yeah.
and they can buy commercials.
Yeah.
And, well, I got good news. They Democrats, Californians voted down Prop 16.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
Really?
is good.
Prop
Really?
16, for those that don't know, was the one that was going to repeal the civil rights protections from their constitution. And I love how it's framed by every media outlet. They're like, it would have allowed affirmative action to help minorities. And I'm like, I could
come
literally
on.
write an article saying it would allow government institutions to put whites only signs up.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. That people say, yeah, but there's the federal 1964 Civil Rights Act. Okay, and that's the case. Then why should we care about your state, your law? Because
Bingo.
someone has to sue. And so if they can get rid of that state protection, then they can enact these things in the state, and someone will have to sue to the federal court to try and get them to stop doing it.
So that's good from California. And I wanted
is
to
good.
throw in, too, I noticed that Colorado voted yes to join the Interstate Compact.
Oh, man.
They did decide to do that. So I'm curious if any other states did, and I'm kind of asking Chad at this point because I don't know. This is something I'd like. Okay, Tim's looking it up for us. But I'm really curious where we're at with that because I don't want that to be a thing. I like the Electoral College. I think the Founding Fathers were pretty
Oh,
darn
that is
smart.
not correct.
Yeah, agree.
All right, what do you think, Tim?
What is not correct, Tim?
Do not look up Interstate Compact. That's not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
The one that comes up is Interstate Commission for Adult Offender Supervision.
Oh my.
That's
different.
But
wow.
that is not the
That
website I was
That's
looking
the
at.
Truth and Reconciliation.
That's not the same.
Yeah.
No, that's actually useful, unlike the.
No, we're looking for the
Reconciliation Act.
National Popular Vote.
There we
It's
go.
nationalpopularvote.com.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
stuff. All right.
So I don't know if I guess Colorado is joined as official. Did they say
Yeah.
they make it official?
What do we
Agreement
got?
among the states. For those that aren't familiar with what this is, it basically means that once enough states join the compact that will put the Electoral College over 270, they have vowed to always give their electoral votes to whoever wins the popular vote.
Ooh, that could bite them.
It was one of the stupidest ideas I have ever heard from Democrats because they don't think about these things and they're low information voters.
Yeah.
Right now, it is functionally impossible for California to give their votes to a Republican.
Right.
The National Popular Vote Interstate Compact opens a door to allow California to give their votes to a Republican. Why would you do that? California is 2-1 Democrat Republican. They were like, I have a good idea. Let's agree on this thing where if a Republican wins, we're going to give our votes to him to guarantee it.
I like it.
I love it.
They don't think
people,
past stage one.
They don't think about these things. They don't look back at history. They don't look at the past elections. I think the last time California went red was like 1988.
Yeah.
I
Reagan.
think it was
Yeah,
88.
Reagan Mondale, right?
No, that was Bush.
Bush.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that
I
was
can't
the last
believe
time.
so. Wow, California voted for
a long time
H-Dub.
ago.
I didn't know that.
H-Dub. I think so. I could be wrong. But each and every one of these blue states, I think Colorado originally rejected it. Like the governor was like, nah, but I guess they voted for it. That was a referendum.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So this is great. Colorado's blue. This is great news for Republicans. It's really, really
Wonderful.
good news. Now, of course, Donald Trump lost the popular vote.
Yeah.
So what they're thinking
we don't
is
know yet. He does have time. He could win the popular vote by the end of the night. But it
what
counted
they're
out.
thinking is Republicans will never win over cities. I got bad news for all of you. We just saw some Republicans win in Miami-Dade.
That's
okay,
amazing.
and Trump got major advantages in these cities. And I'm telling you, man, I'm asking my friends, why are you voting for the same people who have been stealing out of your back pocket your entire life? And they're starting to say that's a good point. So could you imagine we get to this point where there actually is some political competition in urban centers, and then all of a sudden you actually start getting Republicans saying, we're going to go and talk to city centers because it's not about getting the entire district anymore. Think about this.
Yeah.
AOC's district is about
Very
20% Republican, and Republicans don't bother getting those votes.
Yep.
What happens if those votes all come out and many people in these
Exactly.
areas actually start voting in larger
Exactly.
numbers? The idea is typically there are more Republican voters in blue states who don't care and won't vote than Democrats in red states that don't care. So if you look at, say, like Wyoming, I think what Wyoming has, 500,000 people. They get 3
Seems
votes,
generous. I don't know.
3 electoral votes. How many Democrats do they have? What percentage? It's something like 20 or so percent. But that's 20%. That's 20%. That's 100,000 people. But 20% of AOC's district is more than 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Meaning there's the argument that I've heard, and this could be incorrect, is that there are Republicans who live in blue areas that don't bother voting. What's the point? We're going to lose. They enact this. All of a sudden, Republicans start going, I guess I'll vote. Now, the fact that we're in the extreme minority in, NY14 with AOC doesn't matter because Colorado is going to give their votes to the Republican. Might as well go vote.
Yeah.
There it is.
I think
Maybe it's a good thing.
I
No,
think
exactly.
what Democrats have effectively done and is very powerful for them and works, especially in minority communities, is they really do enslave them mentally. Like when you tell populations that you cannot survive without me, you need government welfare, you need us, you need this, you're underprivileged economically, socially, in so many different ways. Like you need us. These communities begin to believe that, and they begin to actually gravitate towards that, and they feel like they cannot survive.
We got an update.
Uh-oh.
The latest drop from Arizona has come in, and Joe Biden's lead has now dropped to 46,257. Trump is closing the gap.
Trump is close.
Nate Silver said they need to
man.
retract it. So I was looking at some political polls. They said Trump is actually overperforming.
Wow.
Oh boy.
So the way it's working is they're 90% reported. There's still hundreds of thousands to be counted, and Trump needs
Right.
to win an average of like 57 points. But he's been overperforming in various districts where they were tracking this. I don't know if he's going to win.
Oh, this is such a nail biter.
Maybe he won't.
Well, that's the thing, right?
If he wins Arizona and Pennsylvania, it's done. Trump
done.
wins.
Yep.
Trump wins.
If he wins
No
Arizona
quotes.
and Pennsylvania and doesn't lose Georgia, because
Oh,
it's
that's true.
99%
Right.
reporting, but Trump's only ahead by like 3,000 votes.
That's where I think we might actually see it go to the courts.
Yeah.
Trump might win a legal battle on this one.
Yeah.
Think
And
he
he's
will.
got he's
I
got
did-
a
Good.
5-4 conservative court.
I think he will.
I did see a tweet the other day that said if Trump continues to fight this battle, he will win.
Yeah.
And I think this is the case. I hope so.
I
really
think
hope
so. I do. Looking at what's happening in Arizona, we'll see though. We got an update here from Georgia.
Oh,
Trump's
boy.
lead is down to 2,000.
Oh
gosh.
my
497.
Seamus.
You don't really you know what really bothered
Close.
me? I'm seeing people dragging Joe Jorgensen and the people who voted for her.
No.
And that's always really pissed me off. They're like, can you believe that if Joe Jorgensen supporters just supported Trump, he'd win everything? And I'm like, libertarians don't want to vote for a Republican, dude.
Nope.
Like,
I
don't
think-
make those assumptions.
Yeah, I think some of them would have, but oftentimes people who vote third party just were not going to vote. I think it's the same mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the
Not
idea
always,
of
though.
I like the idea of voting for who you think would be the best
Yeah.
president, no matter what.
Absolutely.
But there was a really funny Babylon Bee article. It showed a woman and it said save money on postage by throwing your third party ballot directly into the trash.
rude.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah.
Wow, man, look at this. What is this? 4.9 million votes reported. They say we just received 1,337 additional votes from Georgia. Trump is currently up by 2,497 votes.
Oh,
Wow. It's going to come down to like Joe Biden winning by one vote.
Seamus.
Literally.
Seamus. It's going to come down to one
I know.
vote.
I
You know
wonder
whose vote that's
who.
going to be? You know whose vote that's going to be, Seamus?
Wow.
In Georgia?
I don't know.
It is,
Yours.
hold on. It is 49.4 to 49.3. This is crazy. Joe Biden has the absentee advantage. Jorgensen with 1%. Why did they even put in Jorgensen? You know what I mean? I guess it's
So
cool.
that you can see where the last couple are going. The
Yeah.
last 1%.
Yeah, but
yeah.
there's right. Oh, and write-ins were only 287. Wow.
Wow, interesting.
I wonder who they wrote in.
Intrepid. I'd like to write in Mickey Mouse, please.
I wrote in on the for like the school board, Rand Paul and Ron Paul.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
What if they get elected to like some random New Jersey?
They're like,
school
oh my
board?
They're
gosh,
now
what are we
in
going to
charge.
do?
Yeah.
They make
Literally.
it work.
You're actually, as the law Constitution states, you've been elected to local office, so you can no longer be a senator.
Oh
I'd
no,
feel so bad.
Timothy.
Well, there's going to be so that just came in. Joe Biden just got a net gain of 2,500 votes in Pennsylvania. Trump currently in Mercer County, where Trump has 63% of the vote. So in Pennsylvania, we are looking at Trump's lead falling down to 48,854
Man.
votes.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
that's not that bad. That's
Yeah.
pretty sizable still.
Well,
I
but
don't know, man.
but Pennsylvania is only 90% reporting.
Yep.
Still 10%.
Yeah, we've still got
Jeez,
quite a lot to
I wonder
count
what
there,
county
man.
is left. Can you see
We've
the county
still
on
got
there?
quite a bit to count.
Yeah, we-
what
we-
Pennsylvania counties are left?
I'm trying to
So
find that.
mostly Democrat ones.
Philly. Oh gosh.
94 reporting in Bucks.
Bucks.
Mhm.
Chester County is more than 98, so probably not. Lackawanna, let's see. Oh, here we go. Monroe County, 81%.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Trump winning
yeah.
There.
And
Cool.
98.
Okay.
Let's see what we got here.
Neat.
Mostly all 98% reported or more. And then we got 90% in Mercer County, where
Whoa.
Joe Biden got some gains from
Trump's
there, but Trump is
crushing it.
up. Then we have 87% in Crawford. I'm actually thinking it might look good for Trump. A lot of the red areas still have more to report, and
This
the blue
is my only
areas,
prediction.
the blue areas seem to be mostly reported,
Ow,
except for no Delaware County's at 87, and
This is
that's
it?
that's going to be big.
Conveniently.
This is going to get interesting. 90% in Lehigh County. This is going to get down to the wire. What
I think
if,
Joe Jorgensen's going to win
I think so too.
What if
After
Trump and
voting.
Biden just both drop out?
at the last minute, and then Kanye wins. I think it's funny. I think Kanye tweeted the other day. He's like, "No man should have that kind of power. I don't care." It's like, bro, you thought you were
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
win?
sorry.
Did he really think he was going to win?
No,
I
actually,
doubt it.
maybe I'm
Nah.
wrong. Maybe this was actually a fake tweet that I saw. and should have fact checked. Did I just spread fake news? I
How
think maybe I did,
dare
but I
you.
caught it. Hey,
You know what?
but
I bet he
caught
did.
it.
I bet he did say it because he has a song called Power, and it says no one man should have all that power.
Oh, so he
It
did
is
tweet at
correct,
some point.
Kanye. I think that's
That-
true.
that's
from his song
100%
Power.
Did you
true.
guys?
Yeah,
did you
that's
guys?
right.
Did you guys know that Facebook tracks violence, incitement?
They do. Yeah, let's
What
talk
do
about
you
this.
mean?
Facebook has a meter where they're like tracking the words people use to determine how angry and violent they're becoming.
Yeah, what's up
Seriously,
with that?
check it out. From BuzzFeed News, Facebook has an internal metric for violence and incitement trends. Right now, it's rising. Thank you, BuzzFeed, for
Yeah.
making me feel more comfortable. The metric, which assesses the potential for danger based on keywords, rose to 580 from 400 this week, a 45% increase. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to me. Does that mean people are being violent? Like they want to be violent? They're going to be violent? What is it?
Are they reading our minds? What's going on? It's
Yeah.
like when they can know when we're pooping.
No, but like, what's a 579 mean? Do they tell us? They say, as votes are being tallied, blah blah blah. In a post to a group on Facebook's internal messaging board, one employee alerted their colleagues to a nearly 45% increase in the metric,
Oh, snap.
which assesses the potential for danger based on hashtags and search terms over the last 5 days. The post, which was seen by BuzzFeed News, notes that trends were previously rising slowly, but that recently some conspiracy theory and general unhappiness post hashtags were gaining popularity. The probable violence and incitement metric for Explore has been slowly rising over the last few days, the post's author wrote, referring to Facebook's Explore search tool. The
wow.
risky hashtags seem conspiracy theory-esque. The internal metric, which has not previously been reported, has been around a score of 400 on October 31, and then it started rising to 580 as of Thursday morning. Yeah. They say they ban violence and incitement. The rapid uptick in violence and incitement number indicates that the company's own internal metrics have found Facebook posts are contributing to an unstable situation around the counting of ballots in the U.S. presidential election as Donald Trump and his supporters attempt to inject unfounded doubts into the process. I love how BuzzFeed just has to put that in there.
Extra words, man.
Pretty sure people have videos of things that are freaking them out. I believe all of these things should be investigated because could you imagine if Biden wins and none of these things are investigated and then we get 4 years of Joe Biden cheated? Like, I'm not interested. I think if the Democrats are very confident they're going to win, then look into these things and debunk them if you think they're not true. If BuzzFeed wants to say they're unfounded, okay, BuzzFeed, write an article about it and tell me why it's unfounded. Prove it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, don't waste my time. They say these hashtags, which are gaining popularity, point to the overall theme, the employee wrote, of Democrats stealing the election, not trusting the results, and supporting Trump. I wouldn't panic because most of these hashtags aren't very prevalent, but it does seem to be building trend that ideally we stop before it gains momentum, the employee said in their post. While these hashtags aren't as explicitly risky as rigged election and voter fraud, they do promote similar ideas. Given we have approval to block those hashtags, it would be great if we could come up with a standard for these borderline hashtags. Do you know what they're saying?
What the H are they saying?
If you
Tim?
tweet something like Democrats are stealing the election, or if you post it on Facebook, they will get rid of you
Because you're inciting violence.
because you're contributing to this trend of ideas.
That's interesting.
They don't want you to think or share information.
Goodbye, Project Veritas.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Veritas
man.
is going to get nuked for
They're
sure.
going to be done.
I mean, look, Mark Ruffalo, he tweeted earlier, there is not a single shred of evidence to anything Trump is claiming, talking about the voter fraud.
Yep.
And
It's
Mark-
it's all lies, and it's not going to go anywhere with the courts. He has lost all but one lawsuit because he has no credible claims.
And Mark Ruffalo would know. He's who I go to
He is
for
the
my
authority.
political
But I mean, really
analysis.
think
Yeah.
about
He
this.
knows what's
Like,
up.
with all of these college students in universities that have, like, they need safe spaces, they have crazy PTSD because of 2016, the media creates this narrative. The media puts it out and says, this is that, Hillary's going to bomb, Biden's going to bomb. They say that this isn't real, there's no fraud, nothing here going on. But then the truth comes out. They can't deal with reality. They have PTSD. It's like they did this to them. So like I'm speaking to these kids right now. It's like the reason why you have such terrible PTSD is because the media, people like Mark Ruffalo, lie to you. They cause you to believe that this is
It's true,
actually
yeah.
not happening, and then the truth comes out, and you're completely disillusioned.
Yep.
Your whole world is a lie.
And Glenn Greenwald tweeted, that's great because it gives the Lincoln Project more time to take money from the, something
That's
like that.
true. I love
Or
it.
it gives Resistance Democrats more time to transfer their bank account funds over to the Lincoln Project.
Exactly.
Something like that.
That's a good. That's an excellent point. I appreciate him saying that.
I don't know what's going on with the internet, but
No worries.
the good news is that the Verizon people finally came. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe they'll get it before the
We're gonna
apocalypse
have real
happens.
internet. Hopefully
Yeah,
before the internet.
exactly.
Look, when I see the story about Facebook and the violence rising stuff, they start banning people. I think that contributes to people getting angrier and angrier. And I've seen comments on videos and stuff where they say things like, what do I do? I'm starting to feel very powerless.
Yeah.
Like, your vote doesn't matter. You're being ignored. The media's lying to you. What do you do? I'm worried people are gonna start going nuts, and that's what we don't want to happen. But I mean, what are people going to do?
On the
right.
right.
On the right, absolutely on the right.
And
the left has already snapped a long time ago.
Yeah.
These people have lost the plot.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think that the right has a leg to stand on if they were to melt down and go crazy and cause trouble? Because I remember this CNN reporter was talking about these gun-toting people in Arizona saying, count the vote or stop the vote or whatever. She's like, they're carrying long guns. She sounded like she was reporting from a war zone.
Yeah.
Like, nothing has happened with those guns. Nothing's going to happen with those guns. Those people are perfectly fine, perfectly in their rights to pray. So what's the deal? Why should right-wingers not riot? Like, what's stopping them?
Rioting is bad.
Of course,
Feels
I know that's true.
No, I hear you.
That is
I
true.
think,
You know what I'm saying, though, right?
I think if it is true, if the things that appear to be sketchy truly are,
Yeah.
then of course people have a right to demand some kind of investigation for this to be seriously looked into and remedied. That's pretty much all I can say at this point. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
It feels like we lost.
Biden matters.
I don't know what's going on with ops over here.
Yeah.
The internet's on the fritz because we're talking about naughty things.
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah.
about bad things.
They're cutting
Are
us.
we getting hashtag throttled right now?
Maybe.
Is that what's
Yeah.
happening?
I don't think so.
The comment section's going crazy.
The comment-
Why,
Yeah,
are they saying it's
they-
suppression?
Yeah.
Is
We're-
that-
Sure it is. It's not. It's maybe
Dude,
in the
I live in the
nowhere.
mountains.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So, yeah, man, I don't want to be in the city.
I think we're back. There we
And
go.
I mean, it's been cutting in and out. It just cut out again. There's nothing we can do about it.
We're chilling. We're chilling.
I don't want to be in any cities for the time being.
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so I still do live. I was just up there, and we're still pretty much on the East Coast. I just don't want to be within walking distance, or I guess
Within
bus
riding
or
distance.
Uber distance. We'll call it that. We'll call it Uber distance.
Yeah.
So still
I
decently
mean,
far away.
I'm not going to give any locations, but I'm moving out of Cali. I left.
You are.
I can give locations.
Yes.
I know where he's
I-
moving.
I
So
prepared
if you want-
for
If
this.
you want his
Don't
docs,
do it,
give
Seamus.
a super chat.
Seamus, no.
I prepared for this, man,
Good,
because
I'm glad.
Trump, if Trump loses this thing, like I mean, dealing with Antifa, Black Lives Matter, these people want revolution. They want to destroy the system. And if you're in like a heavy, huge blue state, blue city, like if the police get defunded, no one's
kidding?
gonna help you. And you're being convinced as a leftist that guns are bad. You're being convinced as a leftist that even the thought of a gun is evil.
Do you think some of
Like,
that changed?
who's
Drew?
gonna come in? Who? I think change will only come when this starts knocking on your door.
I think you might
I
be
think
right.
that's when it
case in
happens.
point. I didn't want to buy any guns or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then the riots got too close, and I was like, they're defunding the police. I had someone trying to break into my house, and so I was like, time to go buy some guns.
Yeah, I mean that's a reasonable approach to take. Someone tries to break into your house. Also, I mean I think people should just have guns, generally speaking, to defend themselves.
Yeah.
I did a cartoon about this when the riots broke out about guns.
Oh, that's
and about
right.
the mobs and how I mean I was thinking that for the time being the gun control conversation would pretty much be dead because when
It was
riots
for a
pop up
little while.
across the country, and they aren't discussing it as much recently, but of course it'll come back. People's
Harvard's website.
Yes.
No.
eBay used to be yellow, and then they decided one day we're gonna make eBay white, and they changed it, and everyone flipped out, and they were like, "No, it's bad. Change it back. We hate it. It's." So they changed it back. Like, okay, whoa. Then every day they slowly did one increment towards white, and then a year later the website was white, and no one noticed.
Oh wow.
No one had noticed the change.
It's kind of cool.
That's
That
what-
frog in the boiling water, right?
Exactly, boiling frogs.
Exactly.
So that's what I think we're going to see. I don't think Joe Biden's going to do anything dramatic. Like, could you imagine if right when he gets in office, he goes like, "We're signing the deal to destroy the suburbs," and then he they start tearing down suburbs and like Trump.
Part of the Green New Deal. Get rid of the
yeah,
suburbs.
we got to change the buildings.
Yeah, I mean-
Paris Climate Agreement.
Well,
He
that's
already-
the thing. This insane monolithic bureaucratic superstate that's spying on everybody and waging these completely unsustainable wars in the Middle East and taxing people at unbelievably high rates was not built overnight. This is something that they had to work their way to one new policy at a time.
Right. Yeah. So they're so. I just think it's funny. Joe Biden, he wants to raise the corporate tax rate to 39%, right? The Obama administration and Biden were in favor of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Okay, they're also in favor of a $15 minimum wage. Put those things together.
Yeah.
What do you
This is
get?
going to work.
Okay, here's what happens. You say free trade between the U.S. and China. If you work in this country, if the company's got to pay you $15 an hour, and we're going to tax that company 40%.
Yeah.
So the company says, so what you're telling me is if I go in China where I can pay a quarter an hour to Foxconn, laborers who live in cubicles, I don't got to pay them healthcare. I don't got to pay $15, and I got to pay corporate tax rate, but I get to keep all the profits. Done.
Yeah.
Free trade. I can ship the products back in with no tariffs, no costs.
Exactly.
Done.
Because Biden will definitely.
That's
remove all
what
those
they
tariffs.
were
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I think Trump got elected, because they were eroding the manufacturing base, like purposefully allowing it to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's coming back, baby.
It's coming back.
I think it's going to be
If Biden wins, we don't actually know.
But
for sure
here's
that
the
he
thing:
won it.
like, if you have someone who's a low information voter and you splash hot coffee in their face, and then they go, my face hurts. Why does my face hurt? And then you say it's
Trump.
because Trump, and they go, Trump's bad. He made my face hurt. And you're like, that's right. Here, take another. And you splash him in the face again. No, Trump, make it stop.
And then Biden splashes them in the face with coffee, and you're like, don't blame me, I voted for Trump.
It's like, a better way to put it is like they're alone in an elevator with Joe Biden, and he lets one rip, and then he looks at him and goes, it was you.
Hey there, fat. There's Trump. He did it. He came in the elevator and farted and left.
You just didn't notice.
He never knew.
No,
he
but
was,
they
the elevator shaft.
Their policies had led to an erosion. And what did Obama say? What kind of magic wand do you have to bring back manufacturing?
Apparently.
And then Donald Trump did it.
Sure did.
He brought back manufacturing.
Their policies cause destruction. They wreak havoc. They destroy families. They destroy businesses. You have like paramilitary organizations like Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They create these problems, and then they present themselves as the saviors to eradicate those problems. This is why you have Joe Biden telling the country that he's going to heal the nation.
Right.
Do you honestly believe
Isn't that such a creepy thing to say?
It's
like
weird.
Joe Biden says he'll heal the nation. Was restore the soul of the nation one of his actions? I saw that on a yard sign, and I wasn't sure if that was actually
I think
his
so.
or just some
Restore
weird
the
thing that
soul of
somebody
the
said.
nation?
Yeah, which is just another way of saying "Make America Great
don't
Again," but
like
we like
that.
a
Yes.
way more like creepy spiritual way
I
of
Build
dealing
back
with a
better.
secular
That,
person.
yeah.
Yeah, build back better.
Well, here's the thing about Joe Biden. He might sound nice, and he might say things like, rebuild the soul of America and fix its problems and heal its wounds. He accuses Trump supporters of being Nazis.
Yeah.
He introduced his whole campaign with the concept of the Charlottesville. It was a lie. The Charlottesville hoax. Veryfinepeople.org dispels it. And they talk up. It's just, he's the worst. He's just nice looking, and he seems old and feeble.
Yeah, and also speaking of Nazis, the idea of a nation like having a soul, or the nation being an ethical entity, is literally fascism.
Factually
Yeah,
wrong.
like the.
You know what? I do want to mention something really funny. I watched this video from the Pennsylvania, I think, Secretary of State or AG or whatever. She's like, so one of the journalists asked her, why is it that there are more mail-in ballots being reported than mail-in ballots requested? And she went, oh, that's just, like we got computers and people will label things and like it was just a mistake. So ignore that.
Oh.
It reminds me, you guys ever watch Venture Brothers?
Yes.
When like that, I can't remember the episode, it's been so long, where the guy's in the back of the car and he's like, ignore me. So what happens is you've got mail-in ballots coming into Pennsylvania at a higher rate than were requested. So there was like a chart showing like 49,000 ballots requested, 150,000, returned. Something doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then she goes, oh, just, it was a reporting error. Like the numbers are being fixed. Don't worry about that. It's like, I think we should worry about that.
You know what worried me about Pennsylvania was the AG
you-
saying he won.
Kitty, come
Biden
here.
would have won when they tallied all the votes. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's an interesting prediction to
Yeah,
make.
that's a really weird thing.
Gentleman who likes Joe Biden and who hates Donald Trump. That is an interesting prediction to make.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
in a
think about
state
this.
that
They-
went
they
for Trump
stopped.
last time.
They
also.
stopped?
They stopped counting Trump votes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
some states, like at 11:30 p.m. They say they're going to take a break. They're going to wait.
Uh-huh.
And then overnight, all these magical Biden votes that came
Dude,
out of
it's
nowhere.
ticking me
but,
off.
But really think about it. Why are they saying that they're going to stop counting, but then overnight, obviously
They
someone
started
was
counting
counting?
again.
This is what the Georgia Republicans pointed out, that
interesting.
they said that they were stopping for the night for administrative reasons, and then immediately started counting again, and when no one was watching.
Yep.
There was
Yeah,
about,
well.
I think it was like almost 10 to 20,000 magical ballots that were all Biden.
Yeah, they were.
It's happened in a bunch of places. I will say, in Michigan, people keep sharing this meme. Well, I shouldn't call it a meme, but it's photos of 128,000 only for Biden. And the official announcement from the New York Times was a failure in, I think it was Edison Research. It was a reporting error by the company tracking the ballots, and that it was just, they fixed it. And then I'm seeing all these people say like, oh no, this is crazy. And I'm seeing like conservatives say, we got to point this out. And I'm like, guys, they said the same thing about Arizona in Trump's favor. I'll tell you one of the problems I had with Trump's press conference. He's like, you look at these states where we're winning, and then just overnight our lead starts being whittled away, And the opposite is happening in Arizona, where Joe Biden is winning, and Joe Biden's lead is slowly being whittled away. So it's like,
don't make that argument.
if you want to make an argument that the Democrats conspired and they're doing all this crazy stuff, then they're doing it, then they're really smart. They made it so it was a razor thin win. They made it so that it's also happening to Joe in a state they didn't need. I think there's dirty games played, but I don't think it's what people think it is. They think there's like a meeting that happens where Obama walks in and comes out of the shadows. It's like a parking garage, and like he's wearing a trench coat, and he's like, Joe, here's the file. And he like kicks a manila folder at Joe, and then Joe opens and sees the plan. No, what really happens is you've got a bunch of crazy people who don't need to be communicated with to do things that are dirty. Like there's a video of a guy, and you can see him. He's reading a ballot, and then he starts marking something. And no one knows what it is. We don't know what he was marking or why. But a lot of people on the right are saying, that's a guy, like, you can't do that. He's like fraud or something. Good. Great. Let's get it all in the open. The DOJ said that they're going to investigate any actionable intelligence that they can. But, it depends on what they get. A lot of people don't understand that these videos that are circulating are not necessarily actionable intelligence. They can look into it and be like, what do we do? If there's a claim that a poll worker took a stack of ballots and shuffled them together, what do? You can pick up that stack and you're not going to know which ballot came from where.
That's sneaky.
Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well,
shall we do super chats?
We should do super chats, and the internet is on the fritz just because it hates all of you, and
it loves me.
There's nothing else I can really say about it. But
really?
I will say, we recently had Verizon come out. And you're going to love this. You guys ready for this?
I am ready for this.
Verizon told us that they scheduled us to install the fiber line in July and then just didn't.
I remember this. I remember the first show that I did kept
we're cutting
fading out. Yeah, it was cutting in and out. I mean, I don't know if it's coincidence. Both times I've been
Seamus.
here. Every time I'm here.
That's what it is.
Well, Verizon finally shows up and they say, oh, yeah, it's going to be really easy to install the line. Yeah, just nobody was doing it. And I'm like, we were calling you every week, dude.
They're like, oh, it'd be really easy to do it. We're not gonna, but it would be easy if we did.
That's the problem with monopolies, man.
Freaking thanks.
All right,
you're sounding like a real communist there, Tim. You got a problem with monopolies?
I like Xfinity.
Super chats. We're going to read super chats here. And there's no political bias in our super chats.
We can't read any super chat that says anything remotely conservative sounding because that makes this stream unsafe for non-conservatives.
All right, Jack.
But besides that, we believe in free speech.
Besides that, yeah.
Commissioner Hughes says, hey, Tim, at around midnight on the 3rd, about 400,000 blue votes came into Virginia. Do you think something's afoot, and what could be done about it?
Afoot? What a great word.
I think
the
Virginia
game is afoot.
I think in Virginia, you just had so there was this thing with the Michigan election system from Michigan.gov where they're like, look, Trump's winning. And there's like only 2 counties left. And it's like, yeah, that's Detroit. And then Detroit came in and it's like Joe Biden took a big lead. It's like,
duh.
So you got to understand that, they're tracking by counties.
Yeah.
Moonman says Trump will win. The fraud going is visible and obvious.
Maybe.
I believe Trump has a chance to win by nullifying votes. They said this. I'm not making this up. The Trump campaign, or it was reported that they're looking at nullifying certain votes. There's already been accusations that dead people have voted in Nevada and that people who are no longer residents of the state voted.
Wow.
So one of the challenges that's happening right now, NBC News reported Trump's trying to, if the state finds that someone is no longer a legal resident, then their vote does not count for the state. However, I don't think you can say someone isn't a resident simply because they've not been there for a month. Because when I mentioned this, I used to work for Vice. So I'd be out of country for a month or two. I still lived in my apartment and paid rent. I was still a resident of that area. I just worked abroad. So like I'd be traveling around for various stories in different countries. I'd come back. That'd be ridiculous if they're like, you can't vote here anymore because you were working. I mean, like, no. But if they literally did move and now they're living somewhere else completely, that is something entirely different from COVID versus you moved.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm out for work, okay, it's an argument. Trump might be able to get Nevada flipped if they can nullify, 12,000 or so votes.
I want
we'll see what happens.
Pennsylvania to go for Trump.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, of course.
That's what I said would
I mean,
happen.
if he maintains Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania,
That was
and then
my
Nevada
only
or Arizona
prediction.
flip, then Trump wins. But it's
Solid
boy.
Scratch says, quote, overwhelming majority of Civil War veterans. I choked on my Red Bull. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Waffle says, Tim and Biden chat IRL. Could you agree that if the crazies get bad orange man out, but we hold the Senate and get big gains in the House to block all the communist and constitutional legislation, that this could be the best way to avoid civil war? Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Everyone loses and shrugs at each other and just says, I don't know.
I'm going to go home now.
Yeah, I don't know. What do we do?
I don't want that to happen. I want my side to win.
I do.
That's fair.
But that's
I
the
get
point.
it.
Like everybody does.
No.
But if like the Republicans make some gains, Nancy Pelosi might be done
Yeah.
because
good night Sunday night.
because with the good night.
she's out.
Because with there's eight seats flipped, and so the Democrats gained 2, flipped 2, and the Republicans flipped 8.
Oh, please
So it's a
let her
net
be
6
out.
gain. What they're saying is that centrist Democrats have been trying to use that. Now they have more leverage.
Please.
So the centrists can go and say, we're going to vote with Republicans unless we get someone other than Nancy Pelosi.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's
Ooh,
do
That'll be
it.
hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I thought about it? I'm like, I would be very happy with that. Like, Nancy Pelosi is out. Biden is in. The GOP is Republican. I'd be like, not that bad.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
the apocalypse. Not the ideal. But no more Nancy Pelosi speaker.
Yes.
It
I'd
doesn't.
be
It doesn't
happy
mean
with
a
that.
replacement's going to be good. It doesn't mean Biden's
That'd
going
be
to be
wonderful.
No. But I mean, yeah. Wait, Biden? It's so
As
funny. I was
president,
so
yeah.
confused. I was so
Like
confused.
speaker?
I thought you made the mistake of saying Biden would be the next speaker of the House, but then also the idea of
That's
Biden
weird.
as speaker of anything was hysterical.
Yes.
But
I appreciate
he could
that.
literally speak for the free world. Also, I'm looking in Nevada, so they're 84% reporting, and Joe Biden's ahead by just about 10,000, 12,000 now.
Yeah.
So
Gonna
it's
be
really good.
It was
close.
11,000 something. It went up.
11,000?
It was at 7,400 before, and it's gone up. Yeah, so Nevada's probably going to go for Joe Biden.
For Joe Biden, but you think Arizona could flip?
But Trump is going to the courts with Nevada.
Yeah.
So he,
Because of those ballots. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. He had a press conference where I had some lady come out saying that her mail-in ballot never came to her house, and then when she went to vote, they said she never voted.
I heard about that.
So apparently they're claiming that was a fake story, and like they have no proof. So look, I don't know, man. I guess we're going to see. But I will also say, if you haven't already, smash the
You
like
must
button
do this.
because the internet is gunning in and out, and we
Please.
need your support to
We
keep
need
it.
a life raft.
That's the reason why the internet's going down. You're not smashing the like button enough.
It's true. Oh my gosh, it's true.
Let's see. Victor Williams says, "Hey Tim, big fan of the show. Keep it up. Awesome work. Keep up the awesome work. Really appreciate it." Josiah Magnuson says, "Hey Tim, usually I have a get on with it attitude, but most of my friends from when I was in high school were progressives, and most of them don't like me anymore for opposing the left and supporting Trump.
Sorry,
it
dude.
feels really isolating. You know, these people have gone nuts. If liberals and conservatives can hold hands under a rainbow and say, we disagree, but we're going to live together and compromise, and the left is screaming, then these people need to be like, you need to just let them know that's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't want to be friends with you, then find better friends, man. They were never your friends to begin with.
Yeah.
Can I speak to this just a skosh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do think it is isolating. I'm very sorry this is happening. I get this struggle, and I would say to find activities that you do that you like that would bring right-wing people out. That's how you're going to find new friends.
J-Max says, I was at the protest in Phoenix for about 2.5 hours last night. It was the most milquetoast conservatives.
Yeah, they were just
Yeah,
like
wow.
praying, right?
Local news reported that cops had to escort ballot counters to their cars, but the protesters cleared a path for them and even helped them back out of their cars. The
That sounds
gaslighting
right.
is unreal.
Sounds right.
I love how quite
Those are
literally
extremists right
you
there.
had
Yeah.
you had the Phoenix protesters on their kneeling and praying,
Mm-hmm.
and then meanwhile in Denver they're like destroying things. In LA they're screaming and burning things down, and they're winning, and they're winning.
This is them winning.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I love.
These people
dude.
should lose.
Biden's not their
you know
guy.
what it is?
It's not.
It's low information voters are the parents who's like, it's like the mom at the ice cream shop. And the kid's like, I want 2 scoops, but you already had 2 scoops, and I want 2. Okay.
Well, if
okay.
Trump got 2 scoops, why shouldn't they?
That's
but,
fair.
but then the mom
yeah.
is like, okay, I'm sorry, honey. And then she's like, would you take only 1 scoop? Shut up, mom. I said I want 2 scoops. Okay, I'm sorry.
Smack that kid.
Shut up, mom. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we
Somebody
got.
needs to.
John Hayden says John Doyle got banned from Twitter
no.
after
Yeah,
getting
we
a
gave him a
shout out
shout-out.
on here last night.
What the
Oh,
heck?
I'm sorry,
What?
John.
We got him banned.
They say get him on the. Well, we didn't get him banned. It was because he was tweeting about.
Oh, yeah,
the-
I know.
the-
Yeah,
the
John,
election.
don't blame us. That's kind of ridiculous.
Nah,
all right,
he's not
buddy. We
blaming
gave you a
us.
shout out.
He's
No,
not
he isn't.
blaming us.
But
They say,
you guys should get John Doyle on the show for sure.
They say,
I will
they
work
say,
on
they say
this.
get him on the show. To the rest of you, Operation Red Wave is in full swing.
Cool,
get on
cool.
Twitter, get the docs, and call Stop the Steal.
Ooh.
We will see. People are saying John Doyle was banned
Wow, yeah.
for sharing state rep contact
Dr.
info.
Rollergator.
Interesting.
What?
Dr. Rollergator says Gator is the clear winner of this election,
Yep.
and the establishment parties are colluding to steal it from him. Hi, Lydia.
This is correct. Oh, hey. So my joke to him was that I helped him win the election because I have multiple votes.
What?
Multiple votes. Yeah. It makes sense. I have
Unbelievable.
MS.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry. My terrible joke. This is my
That
joke
makes sense.
going
All
forward.
right. Trent says the best trick the
Conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy
Yeah,
theory.
I know.
Tim's hat has legs.
The actual
does.
conspiracy theory is that there's some Biden supporter who's at the internet, like
At the internet?
at the internet, and he's
At
like
the
he's-
internet.
he's pressing disconnect over and over again. He's
He's like,
like
they're making fun of Biden.
Joe Biden
every
knows.
time they say Joe Biden in like a bad way, I'm gonna press this button. Boop.
One
Now there's
throttle.
one throttle.
One throttle for you.
It's like
They're at the
an
internet.
upbeat thin Donald Trump. Blue North Bear says the left is a cult of power, which makes any power grab legitimate and moral in their eyes, no matter what said or done by them.
Yep.
Lying, cheating, coups, mobs, murders, cullings, massacres are all on the table. They are evil. Yikes, man.
It is about power.
John Hutto says GA goes blue. NV and AZ flip red. PA stays red. 269, 269.
Oh, no!
No, is that
Wow.
possible? Is that true?
Okay, we're about to crunch the numbers here.
It's like he's fake news. That's not going to happen.
Let's see if it's
So-
possible.
So if let me pull
me
this up.
see.
Oh my gosh.
So if Georgia goes blue, let's
As I think it
get
will,
rid of some of
yeah,
this.
uh-huh.
Let's do that. Okay. So let's see. If Arizona goes red, Nevada goes red.
What is this?
Iowa is
Whatif.com?
red.
That's kind of cool.
And what am I missing?
Pennsylvania?
If Trump gets Pennsylvania. No, that's not correct.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Maine still. This I don't even know what this number is. What is this?
Why is Maine so weird?
Maine is that's Nebraska. So Trump's got 1 in Nebraska, and in Maine Trump's got 1.
We're trying to
So-
make this happen.
So well, hold on.
Jeez, Pennsylvania's so close.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it is nuts.
What?
It is so nuts.
I don't know what we need to do to make it.
Yeah, I'm not
Can you-
sure.
Can you switch?
Yeah, let me look.
No, can you?
Can I switch what? Oh, yeah, switch off. Sorry about that.
So what we need is, where are we at? Georgia goes blue, Nevada and AZ flip red, PA stays red. I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's what's going to happen. Is there a state that I'm missing in this?
Dang, look at Georgia, man.
If
I
these
know,
go
it's
red,
close.
it's 284 Trump if that happens. Oh, I'm sorry. GA goes blue. 268 to 270. So then what's the one vote that
Maybe Alaska.
No. I think it's probably one of the districts.
Oh.
So right now I'm seeing if that's the case, it's 270, 268, but 270 isn't giving us the actual correct lineup. I don't have it on this computer. I have it on my other computer. So I don't know if this is true or not because which districts in Maine? Trump got 1 in Maine and 1 in Nebraska, right?
Let me see.
I don't know. Whatever. All right. We'll just keep reading. You guys look it up. Let's see. Tyler says you can make fun of Trump because he's self-aware. You can't mock Biden because he's not aware of anything. There you go.
That's good.
Acoustic Theory says, imagine on Inauguration Day, Biden gives his speech and introduces Kamala. She puts up a My Pillow over Biden's face and then introduces herself as president and chooses Hillary Clinton as vice president. Hillary comes up. I'm not reading that next one.
And then
But
Kamala
becomes
dies,
president.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Hunt says, watch Flecka's Talks video from today and click the link in the description to give money to Trump's legal fund. Interesting. Liam Dean says, the one thing that has me worried about a Biden presidency, I got a younger brother who's joining the Marines after high school. I'll be damned if he's sent to the desert because of whatever stupid reason they think of. Oh, it's going to happen. Come on,
dude,
man.
please tell your brother not to.
This person says Michigan does not support Biden. Well, the votes say otherwise, man. Alan Jones says, for those who would like to see someone attempt to collect data about absentee ballot early voter fraud, at Matt Brainerd is asking the public and Trump campaign for funds to pay L2 Political to investigate. Look into him and maybe spread the word. Interesting. Let's see. Aperture says, imagine a state like Michigan, Wisconsin, or Nevada refusing to send a delegation to the Electoral College due to their election being compromised. This was all predicted in a Newsweek article written by the co-founder of MSNBC, who said that one of the state delegations may, reject. They may get to an argument between the governor and the state. Mm-hmm. For some reason, a state is compromised. They can't get a full electoral vote. Nobody gets 270. It goes to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says we go to House delegations. House delegations favor the Republicans. Donald Trump wins. We will see. That's why Trump, I think people don't realize he's got a really good path through the courts. If Trump could literally just legally jam up all of these states with endless lawsuits until no one can agree, and then he forces it past the deadline. This is what they were worried about, that if Trump engages in lawfare and jams them up till December 14th, where the EC deadline hits, Supreme Court will say, no electoral college, House delegates, which are Republican. Trump wins. The left says Trump stole the election. Welcome to 4 years of hell.
They said that the last 4 years, though.
And it never came.
Yeah.
They swear there's like a fourth right coming, and it's just never going to come.
John says, Tim, please look at Sharpiegate again. The Pima County Recorder literally put up a video 1 month ago saying no Sharpies. It's on their YouTube channel right now. Interesting. Eric Olson says, found your Will of the People video because Toby Turner's tweet should have him as a guest. I do not know who that is.
I will look that up.
For those that don't know, I have a music video. It is out. It is a legit music video that I wrote and performed. I wrote the story. It's called Will of the People. It's on this channel. You can check it out. You can search for it. Timcast IRL, Will of the People. And yes, that is me singing. Most people are like shocked to find that, but yep, it's true. There's no auto-tune either. It is literally just me singing. I've been singing since I was a little kid.
Nice.
Good morning, Sunday morning says, keep up the great work, Tim. Call me black-pilled, but I think Trump was the country's last chance at standing against globalists, China, social justice, etc. Perhaps, or there could be a rubber band effect in 2024, if they can even win anymore.
Yeah,
they could pack the courts. We could do electoral college, the interstate compact, so no more EC.
Yeah, it's frightening.
Let's see. Shanjak says, what will happen to the Barr investigations? And L would set back all efforts to remove the government corruption that threatens to destroy this nation if left unaddressed, which is why they were desperately trying to stop Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump is stopped, then the crooks get away with it. There you go. Nick Corvello says, Crowder's morning live stream yesterday had evidence that votes from Joe Jorgensen went to Biden overnight.
What?
This is why third party never gains. What? They're stealing from Joe Jorgensen?
Why would they steal from her? Why not steal from Trump? I don't get it. There's way more you could steal.
Because Trump would go down, I guess.
No, I know. It's true.
Benjamin says, what will politics look like in 2120? Tim, you call yourself a liberal due to your policy leanings, but in 100 years, people will self-identify based on policy. Or will that be old school? Look at Trump and AOC. Also, you want to be banned from YouTube so bad, LOL. Yeah, well, if YouTube bans me, what am I supposed to do, huh? Stop talking about important issues because YouTube told me I have to? They can ban me, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
My name says, Tim, do you and the rest of the conservatives have a plan if Biden wins and approves Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube sweeping bans? Oh, I got a plan. I'm going to drive my van to the river.
And it's true. They're worried about losing everything. Well, if you've lost the truth, you have lost everything because the truth is a person, and that person is Jesus Christ, and you would do well not to deny him.
Well, I mean, look at Lil Pump, right?
Yes, I will. I'd love to.
Now that was a segue.
Lil Pump came up as a super hardcore freaking Trump supporter.
Yeah, good
right?
for him.
And within like a week, 2 weeks, I think he lost like over 400,000 followers on Instagram, right? So
wow.
But I think like this is a good little test case, right, for Lil Pump. Because you see a young minority Hispanic kid that is a multimillionaire because of capitalism. He's building an empire, right?
Yeah.
He uses his brain. Yeah. He sees that Joe Biden is about to like literally rape his wallet, right? He sees that, he wakes up and he says, hey, I'm going to vote for the person that is for my best interest for this empire that I've built. He gets crucified by the media because he thought for himself. And that's what your friends are thinking, Tim Pool. But here's the main thing. America is about sacrifice. And if we're not willing to make sacrifices, if we care more about certain things more than the actual fate of the country, then we deserve.
That's a great
Tim's
point.
saying, we literally deserve to fall like this. And I think the GOP doesn't realize that the fate of the country is literally on the line on a lot of these issues.
That is a great
100%.
point, yeah.
Well, and I think it's interesting. You mentioned he lost 400,000 fans over this. Can you imagine if this doesn't happen in reverse? When a Democrat comes out and supports a particular political leader, like a celebrity comes out and endorses Democrats, like conservatives will make a stink about it. They'll be annoyed. They'll go, oh, I wish these celebrities would stop talking politics. But they don't lose massive amounts of fans usually.
You can come out and say whatever you want for Biden.
Yeah.
You get ignored.
Exactly.
That's about it.
I think that America was built on the backs of people who sacrificed
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
Everything. And if we don't continue, we're going to lose it. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dom D says, in PA, my opinion, Dems are hard cheating. The establishment is all in. They are fighting for a second wind, but 2020 will be recorded in history as their dying breath.
Ooh.
Someone says we're being throttled. We're being canceled.
They throttled.
Rip that guy that
Yes.
bet $5 million on Trump.
Oh, we don't know yet.
What if not? No,
we
you
don't
guys,
know.
you don't know yet. You
we
don't
don't
know
yet. Yeah.
What if
don't
he
know.
sues? He's like, they cheated and I lost $5 million.
Yeah, I would have a vested interest in finding the truth.
He's
about
got
that guy.
he could win $15 million or lose $5, so he can spend up to $10 million.
Yeah, to find the truth.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
That's
Literally.
hilarious.
It's a lot of lawyers, guys.
Yeah, if he's willing to continue to sink money into it, though, he could
So-
lose the
Do
case.
it.
Ethan G is saying thoughts on a 269-269 tie. It's possible. GA goes blue, and NC, NV, and AZ and PA go red.
Oh.
That's what we were hearing. Trump wins.
Really?
If it's 269-269, Trump wins.
Oh, man.
Because it goes to House delegations, and the Republicans have
oh,
control
yeah,
the
yeah,
delegations.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. That's easy. I hope that happens. How
Matthew-
exciting.
Matthew Sage says $10 for every show without Ian. He seems like a nice guy, but he doesn't seem politically informed. Well, he's not a very big political guy. He's just, he hangs out
He's a
and
friendly guy.
he asks questions about things he doesn't know, and it helps us kind of move the conversation along. There's a lot of things that one of the things people don't realize when we have conversations. If you're watching, and 99% of people are like, I have no idea what that was.
Including me. I'm like, what are you talking about, Tim? Why am I here?
Yeah, that's why, having someone who's not super political on the show, so they can be like, wait, what was that? What was that all about?
Yeah.
So we make sure that we're not going over.
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah, I get hit up a lot by
does.
people saying like, dude, sometimes you bring things up, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to follow. I'm like, that's a really good point. That's a really good
Teaching
point.
Yeah, and also you
moment.
said that he says that Ian is a nice guy, but he's not politically informed. I mean, I'm not politically informed, and I'm not a nice guy. So
Oh, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
yeah, all those things, yeah.
But Ian knows everything about freeing the software code. So
He does, yes.
There you
And,
go.
mushrooms.
Official Lucid Traveler says, Tim, loved your song. Chorus stuck in my head for days. The will of the people. Great voice, by the way. Also, they just centered Trump on the mainstream. Yes, that is big news. When Trump was doing his press conference, all the mainstream outlets just cut away from him.
What?
Wow.
Of course they
We
did. though.
missed
Of
that.
course.
What the
Why am
heck?
I surprised?
And this is the trick they do.
That's not shady.
Where if you can't hear what the president's saying, like imagine you're talking about that time your dog ate your homework, and then I cut you off halfway and say, I can't believe I have to do this, but he's lying about everything right now. It's like, well, I didn't hear what he said.
Well, how do I know?
Yeah.
He's just what he's saying is so wrong you can't even hear
Well,
it.
that's how they
It's
get it.
not-
Because if
that's
you
how-
listen, Seamus, if you listen to Trump's speeches, you realize how wrong they are and how much they're lying. So they have to. Makes
Yeah,
sense
exactly.
to me.
Yep. It's like they cut away whenever Trump, he was saying things like, the media was suppressing people, the suppression
Lying.
polls. They're like, cut away.
We're
Cut
like,
it
we're
out.
quick suppress.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it interesting how it's like whenever he's talking smack about them, they're like, this is just dangerous. We cannot allow this
We
kind of
cannot.
rhetoric.
Yeah.
You know what I love? Trump's approval rating was skyrocketing when he was giving the COVID daily
Yes.
briefings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, he's
Those were
lying.
awesome.
Stop airing his briefings. And then they
it
did, and then his approval rating started going down again.
Oh,
Yeah.
It
yeah.
worked.
So disgusting, man.
Jerks.
Yeah, gross. Let's see. Mayonnaise says, my son and I were trying to translate foreign languages over supper. And we have concluded in Joe Bidenese that Trunanana Shabbat pressure means coronavirus and Batacaf care is the cure.
Oh, cool.
Dude, I really do hope we get Batagaff care.
I hope
Wait,
so
wait.
too.
They suspended Andy No's Twitter account.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
let me look it up.
no.
Let me check
No.
it
They
out.
milkshaked
no.
him.
No,
They
they already did
milkshaked
it in
his
real
Twitter.
life. Now they're
Rip.
doing it on Twitter.
Yeah, we
Well,
said
that's
so
when we yeah.
How
I don't know. So Andy No doesn't appear to be suspended, but he may be locked out over
Oh,
a tweet. So it's
possibly.
like
That's
it's a form
rough.
of suspension, but his account still
wonder.
exists.
I wonder.
Well, yep. Get ready
Sh-
for more of that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Shaker Silver says, so Tim, there's no secret dark meetings and just people coincidentally acting in accordance with each other. Didn't you say that about Russiagate too? What I said is, when it comes to Antifa and the far left, and like, there's a video of a guy and he's like reading ballots, and then you see him look around and then pull out a pen and do something. We don't know what it was. If you have a decent amount of this country that are so deranged, a woman actually went to a car and pepper sprayed children.
Yeah.
Don't you think that some of these poll workers are going to be like, screw this, and they're going to
Exactly.
that no one's telling them to do it. There's no
Yeah.
conspiracy. They never have a meeting where they're like, hey, go do this. Now, there is stuff from Veritas, which is really crazy. That's the stuff that has to be investigated.
100%.
Like a postal worker showing his ID saying, here's what they said. Okay, get that guy to testify under oath.
Yeah.
You know,
Seriously.
They will. And I think that's what's coming.
That'll be nuts.
I think that's going to be huge evidence that's coming. That's why I'm saying, like, people like Mark Ruffalo are saying they don't have any evidence at all.
There's a video of a postal worker showing his ID saying, we were told to do illegal things.
Absolutely.
And there's another video of a guy undercover recording a postal worker who's saying, like, they're going to remove some Trump ballots. They're going to like try and find them and stuff. So
And
we don't know. We don't know, man.
And didn't USPS post something not long ago, basically insinuating Trump as a fascist?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, if
Yep. The Postal Union did.
Yeah, the Postal Union. That's right. I'm sorry, not USPS.
Could you imagine, like, if a Trump supporter came up to your house and you're like, imagine you're a Democrat and a Trump supporter walks up to your house saying, I'll take your ballot for you.
Yeah.
Just give it to me. I'll make sure it gets there on time. Don't worry about it. You're going to be like, get out of here.
Nothing to worry about.
So the post office, not every postal worker is a Biden supporter.
Of course not.
Especially in areas that are conservative, but still their union endorsed. It's like, it's not about that individual who you might trust. It's about once it gets to the processing center where like union reps or people who are like, we don't want Trump.
Yeah. And
all of a sudden now, like they kick a box of ballots. And look, I'm saying this, but it's the Democrats that are complaining about this because there's video where ballots were like shuffled aside and the Democrats are like, look at these ballots. This is wrong. Yep. Well, y'all wanted mail-in voting. You got it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Zoe Moonlight says, funny how they keep yeeting everyone. Almost like this is really what socialism is. Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shane Ray says, keep doing what you're doing, brother. I'm a small business owner and father of 4 here in Dallas, Texas, and have very little spare time.
God
you
bless
keep me
him.
informed, so thank you. What about these rumors about watermarks on the ballots? I didn't hear anything about that. Something, a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. Matthew Felton says, source, I'm also an NC and did not vote for Cooper. We must be responding to somebody. I don't know.
Wow.
Interactive says, we believe Governor Cooper cheated in North Carolina. He was accused of the same last election as well. Interesting. Kristen Marie says, mail carriers in Michigan reporting postmasters directing them to date stamps. So this is the Veritas claim that they were backdating ballots that were coming in so that they would be counted. Will Stewart says, it's not just Trump they are jamming up. The remaining Senate seats are also being slow counted and reduced. That's right. We have no idea where this is going to go. It's going to get crazy. John McGuire says if Biden wins, he's declared incompetent. Harris ascends. She nominates Hillary for VP something. For VP something happens to Harris, and Hillary is president.
And then who's Hillary's
Could
vice
you
president?
Imagine?
Yeah, I know.
Who's Hillary's vice president?
Yeah,
Nancy
that's the real
Pelosi?
question. Yeah, good old Nancy.
Oh, it hurts to think about.
And then
Hillary.
Yeah, and then Hillary is like she gives her address to the State of the Union, and then she like comes in and she's wearing like a blue hood, and she's like, I am reforming the United States into the first galactic empire, and then everyone starts cheering. Yay!
She literally resembles Palpatine.
She totally does.
Literally.
And then Rand Paul
Jeez.
looks and says,
Good
so this
morning."
is how democracy dies, with thunderous applause. I don't know what the exact line is.
Gender switch.
That's right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Mason Malsick says, Tim, do you follow the geopolitical strategist Peter Zahane? He believes every generation, both parties completely change their platforms and identity. And that is what we are going through now. Interesting. Here's another crazy scenario. What if Biden gets AZ in Nevada to have 270 and one faithless elector goes Trump to make it 269-69?
That could work.
That would throw everything into even bigger frenzy.
No.
What if people like, what if all the electors are just like, just go faithless?
Yeah, just none of them care. They just vote for whoever they want.
Yeah,
You know what? No one else in this country cares, so whatever. I'm just going to do whatever I want.
At
can
this
see it.
point, anything can happen.
Seriously, it is 2020.
Yeah, it's that time.
Shine Kip says, I'm tired of living in Washington and have nothing but Seattle matter politically. Can't wait to move to Montana.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good call.
Yep.
Yep.
AR says, Tim, if YouTube bans you, I'm sure the Blaze would love you. I just, if I get banned, I'm gonna take the van down by the river.
Yeah,
Go fishing.
fair.
That's about it.
I don't blame.
All right, let's see.
the way to
Jake
do it.
of All Trades says, just listened to Will of the People. Give this man a Grammy. Are Grammys the one that are just fake? Is that
No,
it?
those are the
Grammys? I
music
don't know.
ones.
I know, but like, weren't the Grammys started by a guy who wanted to give himself an award?
Possibly.
Something like
That
that.
seems likely.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
I don't
that
need
seems
your
likely.
awards establishment.
I'll make my
I'll
own.
make my own.
I do think it's
I'll
funny.
award myself.
That's
so
right.
we
Hookers.
put this song out, and a bunch of my haters started posting it, complimenting it. So like,
Really?
Yeah.
They were actually like, oh, this is decent.
they were like, I hate this guy, but I gotta admit, the song's pretty good. And I'm like, hey man, I respect that.
That's crazy.
You're allowed to hate me.
Yeah.
If you like the music.
But you're
it's
not
cool.
allowed to hate my music.
That's correct.
I had one
I'll lose
person.
my mind.
One person was like, man, you're a moron, but dude, keep making music. All
All
right.
right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Walshy the musician says, Tim, if you're trying to convince a normie that the Russia-Trump axis is a hoax, what sources do you show them? How do you explain it convincingly? Oh,
Yeah.
that's so difficult, man. There's no real good article breaking it down perfectly. It's really, really difficult.
I think the investigation is a perfect example.
Yeah, they tried.
Robert Mueller admitted that there wasn't enough evidence to convict the president of a crime.
Yeah.
And that the only thing that they could somehow prove was that they actually
No.
colluded.
It's showing them the FBI notes that say, "Are we trying to get Michael Flynn fired?"
Yes. Yeah.
Why would the FBI be launching an investigation just to get someone fired from their job? Or about the meeting with Joe Biden and Comey and Yates where Biden suggested the Logan Act. That stuff
Yeah.
is like, wow.
The setups.
Is that like nothing happened? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is for these people, if Joe Biden ends up winning, then Durham's going to like fold up the report and say, light it on fire and be like, thanks everybody. And he's going to walk away.
Yep.
It's
It's the
over.
end of that.
Yep. Sweep it under the rug. Let's see. KSE Mamajama. Twitter has a nice thread on various fraud claims with sources. Speaking of the watermarks she discusses.
does. That's Carrie from
That is
last
Carrie
night.
Smith.
Yes,
Yep.
indeed.
She's great.
Let's see. Matthew Felton says, unique. They got mad at me for pulling up my ID at the poll here in NC. Haven't checked to see if I was counted yet. Working 60-plus hour weeks. Mike McEacham says, I think the postal union is to blame. Unions have a history of meddling in politics.
That's true.
John Pittman says, ordered you a bobblehead back in July. It went to a dead mail center. Opened a ticket to find it. They're still searching. Love you and the gang. Wow, that's weird. Chris Brown says, Tim, when can we see you have Ben Shapiro on? Oh, Ben Shapiro's got
Okay,
an open
folks, I'm
invite.
actually on right now.
He is.
In fact, you aren't paying
He totally
attention. It's
is.
completely ridiculous. Ben Shapiro's on pretty frequently. He just has to get channeled.
Ben Shapiro is literally a character I invented. People don't realize that. It's gotten out of
made it.
control.
Did you see
Yeah.
the?
It totally
did
has.
you see the thing that I think it was Cassie Dillon who posted this, where she was like, my transformation working at the Daily Wire, and like she's like day 1 working at the Daily Wire, and she's wearing just like a regular shirt and jeans. Day 2, and her hair's all curled. Then she's like week 2 working at the the Daily Wire, and then she's got like makeup on. And then the next one it's Ben Shapiro, week or month 1 working at the Daily Wire. Like, she turned into Ben Shapiro. That's funny.
Turns into Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
F. Google says media and pollsters wrong about everything. Tell for months how Biden is going to win, and it happens. This is priming psychological warfare.
Yep.
Yes, these people are insane. Flowification says, hey, Tim, I think you're a total Muppet, but that jam you dropped is an absolute banger.
There,
Cheers.
see? There you
see?
go.
Yeah,
there you
there
go.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Muppet. That's cute.
I agree.
like
Tim
that.
is
You know what's really
Muppet.
funny?
It's a banger, dude.
So the song is not about anything specific. I'm not singing like Donald Trump is bad, nothing like that. It's just a critique on the use of violence and the cycle of revenge. But I've had lefties say, like, comment the weirdest things. Someone said, you do realize Trump lost the popular vote, don't you? And I'm like, what does that have to do with the song? Like, that's ridiculous. Some people are like, I disagree with you. I respect that you're playing music. And I was like, what do you mean you disagree? Like, what do you disagree?
What is
like,
there to disagree with?
It's a story. I'm telling a story about a guy. Like, it's a guy, he grows up and becomes a dictator. It's like, what do you disagree with? I'm not making.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you're criticizing the tearing down of statues. And I'm like, okay,
What?
you know what?
All right, I'm done.
Okay. You know, some people, they just don't get it.
Yeah, they don't want to get
Breaking news. Putin plans to step down next year amid health concerns. As speculation, he may have Parkinson's. Whoa. Yeah, I heard he's going to become like a senator or something. And then like
Interesting.
he
Parkinson's
pardoned
sucks.
himself.
Really?
Wow.
Jerome Morrow says, if Trump loses, do you think Premier Kemalov and the Harris administration will honor Joe's promise of Medicare care? I don't know
You need Medicare.
what that is, but I really want some of it.
Same, honestly.
My main concern is, Joe Biden may be ruled incompetent by the new panel being put together by Pelosi. And then Kamala Harris is immediately going to turn around and say no true and non-Shabbat pressure and no Medicare care. And that was promised to us.
Whoa.
You know, now we don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
I think it's about time someone created a true and non-Shabbat pressure. Maybe
Yeah.
a candy bar or
a
something.
department.
I think it'd be great.
That'll be the healthcare
Mobilize
bill.
true and non-Shabbat pressure.
Yeah.
Now, that's amazing. I don't know what Biden was saying, but wow. He should rap.
He's trying
Blaga
to.
says, Seamus Coughlin is literally my favorite guest. Please give him some of this. Also, kind of disappointed with you lately. How can you laugh about Biden dub, but also say the establishment will lock the doors if they get in? Laugh about Biden dub?
Maybe Biden winning.
Well, because
it's not that we take it lightly that Biden's going to win.
what are you going to do? You're going to drop to your knees and scream in the air? And no, you're going to laugh
That's what
about it.
we
You're going to
should
make
be
fun of
doing.
it. And you're going to move on and be an adult.
You can take it seriously. Like I said, take it seriously, pray about it, but work on your own life. There's nothing we can do to change this if Biden does win. I mean, the Trump
Except-
administration can look into it and fight for it, and if there was fraud, then that can be dealt with, but that's pretty much out of our hands.
Yeah.
Drew says, let us look into the election of 1824 between John Q. Adams and Andrew Jackson to get a glimpse of how this turns out. Really? I don't know what happened. I will look it up.
We'll research.
Jacob Moore says, also, GOP is moving to defend Trump. Graham just put up 500,000 for legal. Just waiting to see AZ flip like he said it would. Interesting. I would welcome a tie. Just because, at a certain point, you go full Joker.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, get what you deserve. No, just like let it. No, not that Joker. The Dark Knight.
Oh,
Joker.
the Dark Knight Joker.
Yeah. It's all part of
so serious, Tim?
Yeah, the one that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Where it's just like some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yes.
Eventually, it's like I'm just sick of it. Just give me the tie. It's 2020. It's the waiting I can't stand. Just do the tie. Well, actually, to be honest,
Where we know the results, and then it's a tie.
and then what happens is there's through a strange technicality in the Constitution. There's like, Nancy Pelosi, she's like holding the Constitution. She's got glasses on. And she goes, and all the Congress people, senators and House are like, so who's the president? And she goes, well, you're not going to believe this. Both of them. Whoa. And then cue the sitcom music where it's like Joe Biden and Trump co-presidents. And it's like, perfect strangers.
One is president, the other's vice president. That's how they did it back in the day.
Yeah.
President, and the person who got the second most votes was VP.
VP.
Yep.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Crazy.
Interesting.
Good Lord.
Deck Ape says, Charlie Kirk showed a video where they're counting ballots and a ballot guy counting through some in the trash after flipping it off. Yeah, there's a lot of videos like this. Yep. XD Interactive says, Jackson had a duel in 1824, pistols at 10 paces. Wow.
Yeah.
that was one way to solve it.
Dude, yeah, people were cool back then. No. Dude, you remember, who was that senator who, I believe he was a senator who jumped up and yelled, "You lie" at Obama when he was in fact lying. And people were like, what has happened to politics in this country? It's so uncivil. It's like, people used to shoot each other. Like American politicians used to literally shoot each
Real
other.
Americans.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I was reading about Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr.
Yeah.
And apparently Hamilton had no intention of actually completing the duel, but it was like honor was on the line. So he was like, I'm going to go. But Burr was like, I'm going to kill this MF. So Hamilton, that's why he died. Because apparently he was like, I don't actually want to kill him, but I'm not going to back down. And then he got shot.
Oh.
Let's see. Where are we at? Revia says, I want to see a Ben Shapiro versus Ben Shapiro straw man.
Okay, folks, we'll get one of those.
Oh, yeah, for Freedom Tunes, we used to do debates with Strawman. Those are really funny.
Pyro Tactics 1986 says, so did you turn your back on President Trump? Is fraud and corruption a conspiracy? What does that mean, turn your back
Who
on
said,
Trump?
yeah, who here turned their back on Trump? I mean, granted, we did say we were Joe Biden supporters from the beginning.
I think maybe they took us too serious.
So I can't be too angry with them. But no, I didn't turn my back on Trump. I want Trump to win. Like I said, I think if Biden wins, that's going to be a price paid and a lot of blood. I think he'd be a horrible president. I want Trump to win. We haven't turned our backs on him at all.
I think anybody who thinks I ever had my front to him.
I don't know. That's weird.
I've said over and over again, I don't care for tribes. I care for what I think makes the most sense and who's right. And if there's, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. If there's evidence of dead people voting or fraud, bring it forward. And I think we need to have a full investigation because we don't want truth and reconciliation commissions.
No.
We get that through investigating the claims, and then if the Democrats are right, they can say, see to the Trump supporters and wag their fingers. There was no fraud. We won. It's over, and take away any conflict. However, they're fighting it. So, I think there should be an investigation of these claims of fraud. And the DOJ says they're going to do it. Good. And Trump should use every legal avenue towards his path to victory. And so should Joe Biden. And then it should be resolved in the courts. We'll see how it plays out. I don't think it makes sense for Trump to concede because we are too hotly polarized and everything. And my preference is a Trump victory. I am not going to drop to my knees and cry if Joe Biden wins. Trump did a lot of things poorly. And there's a lot of reasons why people would vote against him. It's just, it really is that simple. If there is impropriety, we will do an investigation. I did 3.5 years. I sat through the Russiagate, okay? I think it's fair if we can say we can do a couple months of looking into these claims by Trump supporters to make sure we get a clean election and we know for sure somebody won. Of course, the Democrats are appealing this. Anyway, so we've gone a bit over, as we normally do, so I just want to give a thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
Before we go, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you check out my music video. It is called Will of the People. It is on this channel. It's just something I made because I felt like making it. It is a story. It is a song. And we're going to be doing a lot more, and I'm going to be putting them out. We're also going to be doing a vlog channel and a bunch of other crazy stuff. So make sure to follow me, youtube.com/Timcast, youtube.com/TimcastNews, and my other channels at Timcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler. And once again, Will of the People. Check it out on this channel. It was put up, I think, a couple days ago, but you can just search for it. And of course, we have our lovely guests. You want to shout out anything, Drew?
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Lives Matter Show, Instagram, Lives Matter Official, Parler, Lives Matter Official, and YouTube, Lives Matter, and Facebook as well.
Right on. And
Freedom Tunes. That's youtube.com/Freedom Tunes. And also, I would just like to request some prayers for my family. I mentioned the rosary the other day. If any of you guys want to learn that and pray that.
cool. Right on. Of course, you can follow at Sour Patch Lids.
You can. I'm over here. Sour Patch Lids, LYDS.
We will be back tomorrow, I think. What's today, Thursday?
Yep.
We're going to be back
Tomorrow's
tomorrow.
Friday.
Tomorrow at 8 p.m. live. We'll have segments up throughout the day. And again, you can follow me, Twitter, Instagram, Parler, at Timcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell. And I guess then we'll just I'll say goodbye to everybody. And thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Thanks
Bye,
so much.
guys.
Bye.